Good morning, Raptor freaks. Lexi Outs here is Sunday morning, and the Raptors are going to play an afternoon game against the Milwaukee Bucks today at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and we've got your preview for you. Also reacting to another fantastic win by the Raptors 905 over the Windy City Bulls last night. We'll go over the stars of the game and give you the lowdown on what went down in Windy City last night. It was fun, man. That game was fun, man. These last two 905 games against Windy City, absolutely amazing games. So fun to watch. And if you had not been watching 905 this season, you are missing out on some of the most fun, competitive, winning Raptors basketball, between the G League and the regular team. Amazing stuff. Seriously. What are you doing with your life if you don't watch Raptors 905? I'm sorry. You're crazy. You need to. It's so fun. It is so fun, man. It's so fun. We were talking about it last night. It's like the G League has gotten better in the last couple years. It's just more competitive. The teams are more polished and play better as teams, so that the basketball quality overall isn't as ugly as it has been in the past. So G League is a lot more watchable at this point, y'all, because the talent level is up, because talent level is just up all around in basketball everywhere. And the teams actually play like teams right now, which is fun. It's really fun. All right, let's get right into it with the preview for today's game against Milwaukee. I have a lot to say about this game to set it up that we need to be realistic about, okay? Because some people are going to see the optics of this game and just think, you know what, this is going to be an easy game. This is not. I've already read it in a couple different ways. First of all, it's an afternoon game. It's at a weird time, 3:30 p.m. Eastern. And that's good in some ways because it's early, they can get done, but it's still kind of a weird time to have it. That's the first thing. The second thing is, and we'll go over this now, we'll do the injury report right now. Scotty's out. He's not going to be playing today. He has been ruled out because of his personal issue that he's away from the team for. He left the team on Friday to take care of a personal issue, and he is not going to return in time to be back for this game. So it's already for sure that Scotty Barnes will be missing this game today and not available for the Raptors. So I'm guessing that we'll just switch Yak into the start lineup and have Scott, Scott's not there. There'll be Manuel, RJ, Brandon Ingram, Colin Murray-Boyles, and Jakob Poeltl starting? Or could it be that they because the Bucks may not be that big today. They are kind of not a very big team. We'll look at them in a sec. But yeah, I don't know who they're going to start. I mean, it could be that they bring your Poeltl off the bench still because of the back stuff and minutes restriction. That it's still Poeltl off the bench. We're going to have to see how this works. It's very likely Poeltl will start, but if he doesn't, don't be surprised too. It could very well be they're managing him. And I agree with whatever they decide because they know better than us, Dr. Alex Silver and Darko Rajakovic. They know better than us. Let's just say that. But yeah, Scotty's out and Chucky's out. But otherwise, the Raptors are completely healthy for today, and everybody's available. And that's a good complement of talent, even without our franchise player, Scotty Barnes. Because on the other side, they're missing their franchise player. Giannis is not going to be playing today. Giannis Antetokounmpo is ruled out due to calf injury for today's game against the Raptors. And also, Miles Turner is listed as questionable for today's game due to calf injury. So it's very likely, that Miles will be out also. And they're probably their two best players. Let's just be honest. Giannis is definitely their best player. And it could very well be a case made that Miles Turner is the second best Buck on the Milwaukee Bucks team right now. So that's a good thing right there. Taurean Prince also has been out for a long, long time because he's let's see, they applied for a disabled player exception for Prince earlier this year, indicating they anticipate that he is substantially more likely than not unable to play through June 15th. So yeah, Taurean Prince is not anywhere near the Milwaukee Bucks at this point. So who are the Milwaukee Bucks this season? Well, they did beat us once this year, but we've beaten them every time since. And I do believe this is the last time we play them this year, maybe. But their starting lineup is looking like this right now. They have made a few switches around, and they do have some new players. Ryan Rollins at point guard. Kevin Porter Jr. is healthy and back, and he's probably their main guy right now. Kevin Porter Jr. at shooting guard. AJ Green at small forward. So that's a small lineup right there already with 3 guards. And then you have your 2 guys, big guys gone. So Bobby Portis starting at power forward and Jericho Sims starting at center. That's what we're looking at. It's like that's their team. You know, Rollins, Porter, Green, Portis, and somebody like Jericho Sims. Also off the bench, the newly acquired Cam Thomas, who's been kind of scoring a lot already and giving a lot of new life to their team. And Bucks fans like Cam Thomas so far as a boost. Usman Dieng is on this team. Kyle Kuzma is on this team. Whether you think that's a bonus or a negative, well, it's up to you. Gary Trent Jr., our old friend, is still on this team. He's a little bit more buried on the depth chart at this point and not starting anymore. So it's like Gary's at this point where he's not consistent, and the Bucks aren't playing him as much, right? Gary Harris is on this team still also. Pete Nance, one of the Nance brothers. And then Thanos. Yeah, Thanos Antetokounmpo is still on this roster and still in the rotation also. So, yeah, there you go. There's the Bucks right now. I mean, it's really sounds like a shallow roster. Sounds like a team that we absolutely should beat the hell out of, and we should. You're right. We should. There are some things against us today, though, and I'm going to go over them real quick, other than just being on the road and different sorts of things. But, yeah, that's the Bucks. Now, the Bucks, this is what I want to say, and this is why this is a little bit of a trap game today, guys. The Bucks have won 6 out of their last 7 games, guys. They're not losing right now. They are on a little bit of a streak where they're playing very well. They did have massive losing not too long ago in January. But in February so far, they've been very good, losing only 2 games this month and winning 6. So they are currently on a 3-game win streak, with the last win being over New Orleans Pelicans on Friday. Yeah, sure, most of these wins have been against bad teams, but Milwaukee beat Oklahoma City last week, y'all. Seriously, not last week, just before the All-Star break, they did. So we have to take this team very seriously today. They beat the Thunder. They beat the Thunder in their current win streak right now. So we cannot mess around with this. Seriously, because there are some signs. This could be a trap game, guys. Whether it's Milwaukee's actually deceivingly playing better than we think, because their record, they're out of the play-in. They look bad in the standings, and a lot of nephews and casuals will be like, oh, we can't lose to them without Giannis and stuff, but they're actually playing well on the down low. So we have to be really careful about this. And I'm sure Darko and the coaching staff are preparing the Raptors correctly to say, you know what, this team is not playing wrong right now. They're playing well, and we need to play at our best ability and not take them lightly in any kind of way and come out there and beat their ass. Seriously. Because, this game could be a lot more competitive than we think. We know everybody coming in, if you think this is going to be easy, like Monique's saying, the score should be higher. We should be beating them more. Don't think that today. I'm telling you right now, this is going to be a dogfight with Milwaukee today, and this is not going to seem like a playoff team versus a non-playoff team. This may be a very even match because of the home court, because they've been playing well, and the referees. I'm going to say that also. So 58% ESPN matchup predictor is predicting Raptors will win. So we should win on paper. We should win for a lot of reasons, but I'm telling you right now, this is a trap game, and we need to be vigilant, Raptors, to secure the win, because there's all kinds of different ways this could go the wrong way, and y'all catch an L today. So be very, very careful today. And without the leadership of Scott, somebody else step up and lead vocally on the court, and y'all do things the right way. Scotty's not going to even be in the building because he's not physically around the team. If he was there in the building, he would be there. And we know that when Scott isn't playing, he can yell and be a coach and do all kinds of good stuff, even if he's not playing. But he's not even going to be in the building. So you're not even going to have Scotty yelling and giving direction. So people on the Raptors team need to step up in leadership, whether it be RJ, Brandon Ingram, Jakob Poeltl, Emmanuel Quickley. Any of these guys could step up and be a more vocal leader today in the place of Scotty. That would be very appreciated. And don't think that what he does and he contributes can go away. Just we don't need it. No, somebody needs to step in and do the role that Scott does. Whether it's Colin Murray-Boyles, Trace Jackson Davis, it doesn't matter. We just need somebody to do it. Yeah. So, all right, let's go ahead and get into the refs, which are very suspicious, guys. In some ways, I'm not happy with the ref crew because I can read between the lines on it. Okay. In the replay center tonight for Secaucus, it'll be Andy Nagy, Inte Huang, JB DeRosa, and Murat Kogut sitting in the replay center watching the league. But on site with us today, our crew chief is Josh Tiven, last year's worst ref for the Raptors. We lost every single game that he refereed last year. This year, we're doing better with him so far. But yeah, Josh Tiven is the crew chief. Number 58, 16th season out of Norwich, Connecticut. Yeah, he's suspicious, man. I'm just going to say this right now. He used to be a ref that I really was like, okay, he's reffing the game. We're in good hands. But I do not trust him right now. And in some ways, if there are league storylines where they want to kind of give us another L because we're winning too much, they might try and do it today, guys. Seriously. Josh Tiven's favorite TV show is Seinfeld. He likes the movie Minority Report. Yikes. His favorite musician is Dermot Kennedy. His favorite book is Firstborn. It's a book written by his dad, Bruce. His favorite meal is chicken parmesan with vodka sauce. He likes to use Instagram. He most like to visit Hawaii. He wants to play golf at Augusta National. And he's a yo-yo expert. That's right. The Connecticut native officiated 5 years in the NBA G League, working 3 final series and the 2008 All-Star Game. In addition, he has refereed 2 years in the WNBA and 7 years at the collegiate level. Yeah, Josh Tiven, man. Oh, man. You know, let me go look at it. He's the best statistical ref for us today. And we won the last game he refed. We are 2-1 with him this year. We're 2-1. Our record with him is 54% winning, and the Bucks win 51% of the time. So 54-51 for the Raptors with the crew chief, Josh Tiven. But like I said, I don't trust him right now. And in some ways, he's a kind of head ref that can manipulate storylines for the league. And he can manipulate the game. He can manipulate. So I do not trust this crew today. I'm going to tell you guys right now, ref report undefeated. Well, Raptors, at some point today, you may be feeling like 8 versus 5. So be ready for it and rise above it. The second ref today is the cop, the younger brother, Jason Goebel, number 68 out of Miami, Florida, in his 10th season as a referee in the NBA. His favorite TV show is Power. He likes the movie Godfather. He listens to Mark Anthony. His favorite book is Pirates in Blue. He likes to eat veal parmesan. He watches Netflix. He wants to go to Cuba, and he wants to roll his own cigar. He wants to roll his own cigar there. He also wants to go to Tahiti. Yeah, the blockade of Cuba needs to stop. It's not right to try and kill people by cutting off their supply to oil and starving people out. So that's wrong, United States. End the blockade of Cuba is what I have to say to Jason Goebel's profile. Before becoming a full-time referee, Jason Goebel worked as a police officer for the Miami-Dade Police Department for 13 years. He was a cop. So, yeah, that's why I see he's a cop, because he is a cop. So, Goebel is an interesting one for today. We are 1-2 with him this season. We've lost 2 games. The last 2 games he refed us, we lost. We win 47% of our games with Jason Goebel, which is just slightly under the Raptors team average for their entire 31-year existence. So he's just slightly hurt us as far as our record. The crazy thing is his best winning percentage in the whole entire NBA out of all 30 teams, guess which team it is? Milwaukee. Yeah. Jason Goebel's record with Milwaukee is crazy. 77% winning. That's the highest winning percentage out of all 30 teams for that particular ref. So they are the team he favors the most in his career. His whole time he's been in the NBA, the Bucks have won the most. So yeah, 47-77 for the Bucks with the second ref cop, Jason Goebel. Yeah, that's 2 refs right there. They're shady as fuck. Just because, you know, I'm telling you, he has a proclivity to help the Bucks, Jason Goebel. already. So we got to watch out for him. The third ref is Jenna Schroeder, not the wife of Dennis Schroeder. Jenna Schroeder, we've had her 5 times this year already. This will be the 6th game that she's refereed for us this year. Number 20 out of Flint, Michigan, her 7th season. Her favorite TV show is the great Tina Fey, Tracy Morgan show, 30 Rock. And she loves that movie with Patrick Swayze and Jennifer Grey called Dirty Dancing. That's right. She gets down to some Bob Seger. She wants to visit Australia, and her bucket list is to see Billy Joel, Eric Clapton, and the Rolling Stones in concert. That's right. A Flint, Michigan native, Schroeder played college basketball at Oakland University and Saginaw Valley State University. She graduated from Saginaw Valley State with a bachelor's degree in communication. Yeah, Jenna is the worst statistical ref for us today. She has been a bad ref for us for pretty much her whole career. But this year, she's been okay. We are actually 3-1 with her this season. So we've won 3 out of 4 games with her reffing this year. We did lose the last game she reffed. And we're now winning percentage 44% winning with her, which is not a good percentage, guys. It is in the Scott Foster zone. And the Bucks win 50% of their games. So 44-50 is the split with Jenna Schroeder for the Milwaukee Bucks. So 2 refs favor the Bucks, and the crew chief is a suspicious guy who does league manipulation. So that's why I'm saying right now, Ref Report is undefeated. When I get into this stuff and I tell you about this, there's usually some legs to it. So that's what I would say. Raptors play ethical, good basketball so that they can't take anything away from y'all, and you go ahead and win this game despite possible bad calls you might be getting. You may not be getting any whistles to put y'all on the line, and they may be giving weird whistles to them to put them on the free throw line a lot. You've got to ignore this shit. You've got to play through it. You got to play and execute to the level that can ensure you to win it, even if things are not exactly fair. Coming from the referees, I already can tell. I can see this before I even watch the game, y'all, because I've been doing this for years now. And looking at the referees is something, this is my specialty. And I don't think there's anybody else out there that does it better than me, at least according to the Raptors. So there you go. There's your ref report for today. Caution. This is a trap game, y'all. And in some ways, if any of y'all fans out there are thinking we're going to just cruise through a victory against the Milwaukee Bucks today because of their record, you are sadly mistaken. And we need to take this shit very seriously, whether it's the players on the court, our coaches, our organization, or our fan nation. Don't be nephews and just say, oh, it's the Bucks. We'll beat them. They don't have Giannis. Seriously, just understand. I said this now. I have faith we can beat them. I have faith that we're the better team. But it's execution and showing up and doing it the right way to ensure that it's going to matter today. I'm going to say that right now. It's going to matter today. It's going to matter today because those referees are not there for us. I'm going to tell you right now. They are not there for us today. They are not. Don't expect no bailout calls. If you're going to the basket, don't expect them to call it. And they don't call it, don't get mad. Keep moving, keep playing because this is going to be a big thing today. I'm telling you right now. Trevor J. with his words of wisdom. Good morning to the Commissioner of Fun, Trevor J. holding it down for us in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. That's my guy. In the Sunshine State. That's right. When you really realize that today ain't just one more day added, but one less day you've got left, you start holding tighter to what actually matters and letting go of what never did. This is interesting. Like Trevor keeps bringing up themes of what matters and what doesn't in life. Like, what do you mean by that? Does that mean like people and love and friends and family and those things matter? Is that what you're saying is matter more? What is it? Frivolous things, activities you do, guilty pleasures, doing hobbies, skiing down mountains. What is frivolous? What isn't? I mean, it's different for each person, right? It's different for each person. And who's to say that it should be the same for every single person? It shouldn't be, because that's conditioning. That's telling everybody this is a cookie cutter life. And y'all need to all follow the same timeline and the same objectives and the same goals. That's been one of the biggest farces about the system and the society we built to this point, is to tell everybody that you need to do this and you need to do that. And this is what you'll do if you're a successful life. If you don't, you're not. It's all bullshit. Some of it's been just conditioning to drive you to sometimes spend money or buy things from different companies or do this or do that. You know, it used to be that families could live together, all generations, in one big house. And a lot of people do that here in Canada, here in Ontario, buy a big, huge house. And you see families pool their money together, live there, because some ways they have to do that. But in a lot of ways, the mortgage company wants you to all live in your own separate house by yourself, one person per mortgage, because that's more business for them. So can you understand why there would be pressure on young people to go out and buy houses and have their own house because the mortgage company wants all those kids to go out and they get there? And can you understand why there may be stigma on people, young people, to say you need to move out of your parents' house because you're loafing if you're doing that? Listen, it may not be realistic for them to buy a house, and it may make sense for them to still live with their parents, their uncle, their grandma, their brother, you know, because this is just how it is financially. And it's only conditioning by forces out there that want you to spend their money and get their product that may tell you this is how you should live your life and this is what you should do. In some ways, I feel like this is dancing around a little bit of what your words of wisdom is. What is it? What does it really matter in life? Is it the love and the relationships that you share with people that you love? I think that is what it is. I do. I think it's cherishing and protecting life and its energy, whether it's in humans or in any of the living forms that are on our planet. So yeah, it's a deep subject. And in some ways, look, I don't totally like your philosophy about time passing and time ahead. Sure, we're all one more closer day to dying. But seriously, in some ways there's all kinds of philosophical ideas about existence and whether you being here or not being here in spiritual realm, or you know where your energy goes, whether you actually die or not. See, I'm on other levels at this point, and I'm not thinking like the way they taught us to think. I'm not conditioning myself anymore to how they wanted us to think. And in some ways, I'm expanding my mind, and I'm thinking about things on a whole other level. And I'm not limiting myself in some ways by thinking, oh, I have limited time on this earth. Oh, I've limited myself because I didn't do this in my life because they told me I should have. Yeah, there's a lot of deconditioning we all need to do in a capitalist society. Let's just put it that way. And going into the new world era, this is something that all of us are going to do to an extent. And it's going to be really interesting, trust me, from a sociological standpoint, seeing how society changes and evolves in the next 10, 15 years. Yeah, it's going to be a drastic change. And it's going to be very, very interesting to see where we drive this future to. Because I want it to be all for us and not for them, just for the few billionaire class. No, we got to get this right. Blessings to the Jones family and all the Raptor Freak families out there. That's deep stuff, Trevor. That's real deep. What is the sands in the hourglass? What is it? Is it our days of our lives? They're passing us by. Is that supposed to scare me? No. You live your life. You exist as a life form, and you get your time. And when your expiration date comes, well, that's just it. That's just it, right? That's it. Trevor J saying this, 905 makes you believe that you will win the game. And just like that, they turn on the Jets engines on you. I love it. I love it. I love it because what's happening now this season, and this has been happening for a couple months, pretty much since they ran the gauntlet in the tip-off tournament section of the season, where they didn't lose until the final game. They went 14-1, which is amazing. I've been getting cocky. Oh, yeah. Trevor, it's a shame that you're not in the YouTube chat with us, because you would be seeing glorious things if you were in there last night. It was a comedy show in the 905 chat on YouTube last night. People like Kareem Thomas and Monique Lawrence and myself holding it down for the RFF. And we had some interesting friends. Well, I don't know if we call them friends. They were interesting people in the chat with us last night. Apparently, the Mac McClung fan club infiltrated the YouTube game last night. And they were very vociferous and saying their opinions on Mac McClung and his ceiling and who he is and why isn't he in the NBA. They're wasting his life. He should be in the NBA. Why is he in the G League? It was crazy. These people singularly coming out. It almost feels like to me, and this may be similar with Caitlin Clark in the WNBA, that there's bots doing stuff for these people, or they are really crazy fans that just really love them. But I have a feeling that it's kind of draped around white supremacy. Yeah, I hate that. I hate that. But I feel like this might be true. It's like, oh, this little white guy, I love him. I want to just love him because he's in the NBA and he just beat a bunch of black guys in a dunk contest. And I just love him. I don't get it. I bet you there's Midwestern, like racist people that just love Caitlin Clark and Mac McClung, and they run around and they're just like, we're big fans of them. We're big fans of them. Okay. I mean, they're good players. There's nothing wrong with them, but the energy behind them is a little fucked up and a little weird. And I was feeling it last night in the chat with the Mac McClung Glazers. Yeah, it was really crazy, Trevor. You were in there, you've seen it. And Kareem and I were carving them up left and right. It was hilarious because they were so confident the whole game. They're saying, Mac's going to kill you guys. He's going to beat you guys and all this stuff, saying all this garbage, writing checks. They couldn't cash by the end of the game. And it was hilarious, man. Because like I said, I've got a confidence about Andrew Jones and the 905 team at this point that I don't care if they're down by 20 at halftime. I'm still confident they're going to come back and win the game because they're like that. As I keep saying in the chat, they're like a boa constrictor. At the beginning of the game, they'll curl up around you and kind of hold you like you're maybe getting snuggled a little bit. But as the game goes on, that snake starts tightening up around you and starts squeezing the life out of you. And that's the defense of the 905. It cinches up every quarter. And by the fourth quarter, the intensity is ratcheted up. Let's just put it that way. And this is the thing. This 2-game series with Windy City, these last 2 nights, have been offensive marathons, running back and forth, crazy high scoring, no defense for the game. But one of the teams involved in this game can turn the defense on when they want to, and that's the Raptors 905. And that's the big difference between the winning and not winning these last 2 games against Windy City. Is Windy City, you ain't got no defensive stop that you can just turn it on and say, yeah, we're going to stop the 905 from scoring at this point. The Raptors 905 do. And they, in the fourth quarter, go into a frenzy mode of we are going to just full court press you. We're going to bully you. We're going to annoy the hell out of you, and we're going to run up and down the court. And you should be tired by then, especially since the score is like 130 to 130. And, they scored 115 points by the end of the third quarter in this game last night. So 905 are badasses, man. Andrew Jones is so good. He is so good. And that's the crazy thing. We keep missing different players are just not there for us. Quincy Guerrier sitting in street clothes. Pat McCaw sitting in street clothes. Chucky Hepburn out because of meniscus surgery. David Roddy with Team USA Select. In fact, missing David Roddy, we've missed him in the last 2 games against Windy City and him being away playing for USA in a tournament somewhere. So, next man up. Guys are coming in. Tyson Degenhart, come on in and do something nice for the team while people are absent. AJ Hogarth, step on up. Chucky Hepburn's out. This has been the story all year. But, yeah, it's funny, man. You got the Yuki Kawamura fans, where Japanese fans, they're awesome. Yuki Magic. And then you have the Mac McClung fans are delusional and maybe slightly racist. And then you got, us, the Raptor Freak family, who's there for the team, the 905. And it's interesting how we interact in that stream. The Bulls fans, they were kind of cocky early because they were winning. But I was saying stuff like, this is a long game. I have full confidence in this team. I know the pattern of the Raptors 905. I have full confidence in them in clutch situations when games are close, that they know how to close the game out and finish the game with a W for us. And because it's been proven over and over again. In fact, the game last night was closer than the game on Friday by the margin. But this game, even though it seems close, and even though clutch free throws and clutch shots have to be made at the end of the game to win it, these aren't even the closest games that we've had all season. Trust me, I went to one of them when I saw Grand Rapids Gold on a Saturday afternoon, sitting courtside, and the Raptors 905 just barely beat them by 1 point by the end of the game. There's been closer games the 905 has had this year, and they have masterfully cruised to victory, just inexplicably. Think about that Birmingham Squadron game that they had where they had no business, and they got to overtime somehow, some way, and then they ended up winning it. And it was because there was a crazy inbound steal that happened by Tyson Degenhart. That is just like, this just happened, and bam, that's how they won. It's crazy. Seriously, the 905 is so amazing. They have a skill to close out games and play masterfully in clutch time that NBA teams would be envious of. I wish the Raptors themselves were as good at closing games as the 905 are right now. They're so good at it. It's crazy, man. They just go to another level. I think that part of it is Elijah Martin. I think part of it is AJ Lawson and Olivier Sarr. And, these guys are really turn up the defense late. And it shows. And the other team is tired and they get all messed up and they can't make shots. And meanwhile, we're going off and we're running away from them in the fourth. It's so fun to watch them. I'll do my stars of the 905 game in just a little bit. But yeah, man, what a great game. So enjoyable. And once again, winning the game at the end with all the people smack talking in there and coming out on top with the W for us. Yeah, that's all the sweeter. Especially because people are talking trash in there for the other side. And you do come around and beat their ass at the end. Oh, that's so sweet, Trevor. How sweet it is to be defeating you. Yeah, we were trolling the Mac McClung fans too. They were like, yeah, Mac's going to win it for you. Yeah, airball, brick. Yeah, we were coming at them too, man. It was hilarious, man. They had such crazy thoughts. Like one person in there was saying that they think that if Mac McClung got 30 minutes a game in the NBA, they would be Steph Curry. Yeah, this is the kind of shit they were saying last night, Trevor. And we're like, whoa, you're crazy. You're crazy. You are crazy. You're saying this shit. Oh, if he played a full 38, he played a full game, he would be like Trae Young out there. That's what they were saying. We started coming at them with the craziest shit, like saying stuff like, well, if Mac McClung, I said, like, if Mac McClung ran in the election in 2024, he would be fixing the USA. We're just making up crazy shit that sounded crazy. Over and over again. It's trolling them. It was hilarious, man. You'd have to see it. It was fun. Trevor J saying nothing like watching an open gym on Saturday afternoon. Always on fire. You know what? I agree with you that open gym on a Saturday is a great feeling, but I did not like this episode. This is crazy. Usually I love open gym. I think Open Gym is one of the greatest shows ever made. It is in my top 3 all-time favorite TV shows with like the A-Team and, just shows that I just really freaking love, and Survivor. These are like my favorite TV shows of all time. Open Gym is one of them, the story of the Raptors. But this one didn't hit me like that, Trevor. I was annoyed by this show. This Open Gym really bugged the shit out of me. In fact, I read through the tea leaves on it in a couple ways, and it really disappointed me, honestly. Yeah, the All-Star episode, I didn't like it. I liked some of it. I liked the interaction with Pascal and Norman. I like seeing them recognize the Open Gym guys and say, oh, Open Gym, hey, Open Gym. And they talk to them, and it's like old times. And they know the drill because they were followed around by Open Gym for years when they were on the Raptors. So it's kind of like, yeah, they don't mind being on Open Gym. In fact, they kind of have a natural, I'm back on Open Gym kind of energy. It's like, hey, Open Gym, what's up? Norman cares about his Raptors days. That's where it all started. Siakam is nothing without Toronto Raptors and what he did here, So, yeah, I love that part of it. The other stuff that I didn't like is a lot of it had to do with Scotty. I'm not going to be lying. First of all, he pulled up in a cyber truck. Now, I know I've seen pictures with him in the cyber truck on Instagram, so he probably owns that truck. And, yeah, I mean, I won't go too deep on the problems with that, obviously. And, the other thing that I didn't like was on the plane, it seemed like he was being a little hoity-toity over AJ Lawson. And I don't like that. I get energy. I can see energy. I can read facial expressions. I can see patterns. And it seemed like on the plane, AJ is so enthusiastic, so happy to be going to All-Star. He's smiling, he's bubbling, and Scotty's acting like he's above him or some shit. Now, he is. I'm not going to lie. Scotty's a franchise player, and AJ Lawson's a two-way. But this isn't the philosophy of Lowry and DeRozan, Scotty. This isn't the kind of shit that I like from our top dog, our top player. You can't do this. You may be a best friend and a happy guy and a hugger and a smiley guy with everybody, but you can't be acting like you have airs where you're above people, stratifying yourself. And I felt that energy from you on that private plane with AJ Lawson. Like you had to go sit somewhere else in the plane and not eat with him. And maybe AJ's acting all happy and enthusiasm. And you're like, well, this is my second all-star, and I'm an all-star. And you're kind of acting like better than him. Fuck that, Scotty. Be humble, stay humble, and don't let all this bullshit like having a Cybertruck make you have a fat head. That's what I'll say right now. I'm warning Scotty Barnes. Because listen, I don't want you to be a franchise player like LeBron James. I want you to be a franchise player like DeMar DeRozan. And we don't do this shit in Toronto. If you want to carry on the legacy of Lowry and DeRozan and what they did and We the North and doing this up in Toronto, you cannot make yourself stratified above other people. You have to humble yourself and be a good teammate and don't act like you're all that in a bag of chips. We get it. You're the franchise player and you should be doted and built around and you are special. But you shouldn't act like that, though. You shouldn't act like that, though. You should act like just one of the other guys. And I didn't like the energy I saw between you and AJ Lawson on that plane, man. He's just a happy dude. He's excited. And you shouldn't be dissing him, bro, is what I'll say to that. Also, you know, Colin Murray-Boyles bringing up winner. This is getting tired. I get that. I get that. See, this is the thing I don't like. It's like Murray-Boyles, you know, you're on Toronto. You said on the open gym that this is the perfect place for you to be. And I agree with you. And you feel that and see that. But also, you kind of did Javon Freeman Liberty, and that pisses me off. And if y'all know what I mean when I say Javon Freeman Liberty, he did do that in that open gym episode, Trevor. And I don't like that. I don't like that because I think that Colin made it clear that he only sees Toronto as a first couple of years in his career, and it's a stepping stone to go to the next place. And that's what Freeman Liberty did when he came in the interview. I'm going to enjoy while I'm here is kind of what he said. And if you listen real closely, Colin Murray-Boyles kind of said that in that open gym episode, and that annoyed the fuck out of me. So there were a couple of things I read from that episode that were not good. Let alone, listen, Scotty rolling around on the locker room floor of the Los Angeles Clippers locker room saying, I love this locker room. It's so big and all this stuff. That's not fucking good either. Let's think about that, Trevor. You know, him rolling around on the floor. Oh, my gosh, Brandon in the USA Stripes team has a huge locker room. Let me get in here and just roll around on the floor. And all of his assistant coaches are watching him. Like, what the fuck are you doing, Scott? Get off the ground. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Oh, it's the Clippers locker room. Is that a locker room you want to be in later? Is that what's going on here, Scott? Like, what the fuck is this, bro? And open gym producers, be better with your content, too. Maybe it's fun to see Scotty having a good time at All-Star, but be maybe selective in editing your episode so there ain't bullshit like this. Because people like me, autistic people who see patterns, will read through everything and see exactly what the fuck is happening. Scotty, you being absent for personal reasons after that open gym drop yesterday is not good. In some ways, I hope everything is all right with your life. I hope there's nobody in your life that's in trouble. I hope it's something that's joyous that you're away for. And you need to get the fuck back and be playing for the Raptors ASAP as soon as possible, my guy. Because you know what? I'm reading the tea leaves from some of that bullshit. I don't like what I saw. I really don't like what I saw. I saw glorious things from Brandon, though. Wow. The energy from Brandon is top-notch and amazing. What did that man say on the open gym episode yesterday? He said, I want 6 or 7 more of these in a row. Well then, sir. That's right. He said, I don't want to miss any more All-Stars. My first All-Star was like 8 years ago, and this is my second All-Star, and I missed too many All-Stars in my career. I need to make sure I'm back here every year. That's what Ingram was saying yesterday on the open gym episode that dropped, and I like that. That part of the open gym really made me happy. The other thing that I didn't like either was, you know, this is another time where we've seen Scotty have to be waking up at the All-Star weekend. This happened the last time he went All-Star weekend. And they flash back to it even. Scotty's laying in the bed. Oh, give me 5 more minutes. I don't want to get up. You know, this exact scene played out the last time because I remembered it. And I was like, oh, shit, Scott's doing it again. It's basically this thing is what it is. He does the Saturday skills competition. He does Saturday night. And then after Saturday night events, there's parties. There's parties on Saturday night. Now, I know Scott doesn't drink, right? He doesn't drink. They said this on Twitch. People have been very clear about it. That Scotty Barnes does not party in the sense that he takes any alcohol or smokes weed or anything like that. He basically likes to go just to be in the energy and be around the scene and be seen and feel important and be Scotty Barnes. So if he's going out, maybe he's more likely to be dancing or just hobnobbing and talking to people. Well, Scotty not wanting to get out of bed the day of the All-Star game is symbolic of him staying out and being at places all night, that night before. And Brandon brought it up. Brandon kind of like ratted him out. he's like, Scotty's like, I heard people telling me this guy was at like 4 places last night out there having a good time. He's a young guy. He should be able to do that. I have no problem with doing all that. Because I know, I mean, even if he was drinking, even if they lied to me and says, oh, Scotty doesn't drink, because, you know, there's an alcoholic in his family that taught him he doesn't want to drink when he was younger. And that's part of what he turned him off from even drinking in the first place. And he's been better for an athlete for it. You know, they made that very clear. So, yeah, that's an interesting aspect of that open gym episode. Also, Brandon Ingram ratting Scotty out for being out socially all night. And meanwhile, Brandon is like clear-eyed and just kind of, Scotty looked tired as fuck. But he played really well in the All-Star game, though. So it didn't really affect this game. The one thing that I did like in this episode, another thing I really liked was Lloyd. Yeah, why not Lloyd? Why not put him on blast? This is hilarious. Scotty is in the room. He's got some of his buddies that are there, like Nardo and Patrick and Lloyd. And Scotty's like, he's so funny, man. And, of course, we all know who Lloyd is. We've known Lloyd for years now. But now Lloyd is officially out in the Raptors world, and people can know who Lloyd is. And when I do Lloyd on the Instagram stories, people have seen him now on Open Gym. Scotty officially introducing Lloyd on Open Gym, saying, this is my friend Lloyd. And I met him through the video game. And Scotty's point is, who ever told you video games are a waste of time? Well, look at this guy. This guy just started playing NBA 2K with me years ago. And I didn't know him before that. And we became friends. And now he's at All-Star Weekend with me, sitting in a very expensive hotel room and having a good time and traveling the world with an NBA All-Star and franchise player. That's pretty cool. So y'all can see Lloyd in the latest Open Gym. Lloyd, you made your debut. I got to shoot you a message and say, yeah, you're famous, Lloyd. Now you're famous. I think that this was calculated a little bit, that they put Lloyd on blast on the Open Gym, because Lloyd does have some aspirations with music and different kinds of things. And maybe Sky's trying to do him a solid and get his name out there and maybe a little bit more notoriety. But yeah, Lloyd, Sky says, this is my friend Lloyd, who I've met through playing video games during the pandemic. And that's how he's my friend. That was cool. And Lloyd, that's awesome. It's so awesome to see Scotty put you on blast in the middle. He didn't put Patrick on blast. He didn't put Nardo on blast or Nick or anybody like that. He put Lloyd on blast. And I thought Scotty's message was fun and funny. Kids, don't stop playing video games. Someday you could make friends with an NBA star through a video game and live his entourage too. Why not Lloyd? Why not Lloyd? Salute to Lloyd. We love you, Lloyd. That's right. Raptor Freaks always love Lloyd and Scotty's friendship. It's the best, man. Yeah, Open Gym, mixed results. Just because some of the content bugged the shit out of me. It really did. But, man, some of it was awesome, too. Some of it was really nice. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. Most episodes, I just love everything about it. But there are some things I did not like in that episode. I went over them. Yeah, Trevor's saying this. The Pelicans beat the Sixers. Fantastic. Yeah, y'all were saying last night in the chat that the Sixers are in trouble, that they look like they're already in trouble. You know, there's a little bit of a separation from the Raptors from the play-in group right now. We keep winning a little bit. We can get some breathing room, even though we're in 6th or 5th away from that. We're in 5th, getting a little bit further from that. Now, the problem is, man, that Rockets had the Knicks on the rope last night. And, man, I wish that the Rockets could have seen that game through to win that game last night. That would have been very helpful to us, Houston Rockets. But you couldn't do it. You couldn't close the deal. And there was a big comeback by Cat and the Knicks in the fourth quarter last night and a 2-point victory for New York. That sucks. I wish they came through on that one. Yeah, they let them come back. Yeah, it sucks. Big game at 1 p.m. What's the big game at 1 p.m. today? Cleveland versus Oklahoma City. Yeah, this is a good one. I hope that Oklahoma City, who's been losing more often lately, obviously if they've lost to the Bucks in the last couple weeks, I hope that they show up with their best foot forward and they can beat the Cavs, because the Cavs have been winning very well right now. And they need their momentum kind of slowed down. So come on now, Thunder. I know SGA may not be playing right now, but y'all are still the champions. Next man up. and take care of the Cavs today. Please, please. There's a big game on right now. Isn't there a huge hockey game going on right now? Maybe that's part of the reason why some people may not be in here, is because people want to watch Canada versus the U.S. at Winter Olympics in the gold medal hockey game. Austin Matthews on the wrong side of the puck, right, guys? Right now, that's right. That's right. Let's go. Fiercey is here. Wayne is here. Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Good morning to you, Wayne. Good to see you. And MJ, good morning, fam, and happy game day. Yeah, this is going to be it's a little bit of a trap game, y'all. I'm warning y'all right now. The Raptors got to be on high alert and play a very high level, because this is a trap game today. I'm going to say this right now. This Milwaukee game may seem like an easy win, but this is not going to be an easy win. And the Raptors cannot come at this game lightly in any kind of way. If the coaching staff or anybody in the organization is listening to me this morning, y'all probably understand what I'm saying right now, but understand it to the other levels, whether it's the referee report that I did earlier, or just the fact that, like I said, the Bucks, even though they're a losing team this year, have won 6 out of the last 7 games, including a win over the Thunder. So we cannot take them lightly. You hear me? If they can beat the Thunder just before the All-Star break, they can beat us today, even without Giannis. So we got to be serious against the Bucks. I would say with their personnel and the way the Bucks like to play, we need to make sure we get to their three-point shooters, obviously, because that may be the best strength of their team, is if they get going on threes, different guys, that can be a problem. So really, really, really hound them on the outside lines. And in the middle, you guys could probably play okay and stop them pretty good with the personnel we have versus theirs, because we are bigger than them. That's the one thing we have as an advantage. We're also more talented than them, and in some ways we have more experience than them also. So we need to play to our advantages. I love the quick rotations in the last game, Darko. Continue them today, because if we can have a full, almost healthy, completely roster, we should be able to afford quick subs and having quick bursts, a lot of energy going all the time, at all times. Nobody's huffing and puffing. Nobody's holding their ankles, or I mean, not their ankles, their knees, and kind of like tired out. No, get them out immediately and put the fresh guy in, because you've got your full roster right now, except for Scotty, and you can do this, because that was very effective in the last game against the Bulls. So do it again today, because it'll work again today. That's right. Fiercely saying, let's beat the 8 versus 5. That's what I'm saying. It could very well turn to that. In fact, I'm expecting it. And I think that the Raptors and their coaches should expect it themselves. They should expect it themselves, and they should be ready to go against it and defeat it. There's many times this season already, the Raptors have won games where the referees were absolutely trying to help the other team beat us. So we've overcome this year, and we could do it again tonight if we have to, today. Blackhawks in the house. He's got the logo there. That Mac McClung is growing. His game is not his height. Yeah, but I'll tell you guys once again, I'll say the same damn thing to the people that were in that chat. He's too small and he's too weak to play in the NBA level. I don't give a shit if he's the all-time leading scorer at his high school, his college, or whatever the fuck he did before. These are levels to basketball, and the NBA is a whole other level higher than G League. Sure, he can drop 39 points on the Raptors 905 last night. That don't mean jack shit in the NBA. And all these jackasses in there going on and on about Mac McClung, you guys are unrealistic about what physics and physicality and the reality of the world is. Seriously, I get it. He's not totally short. In fact, when we looked at his height last night, Adriana told me he's 6'2". I'm like, he's not 6'2". They're lying. As much as they steal inches from Scott and say he's 6'7", they're giving inches to Mac McClung. That motherfucker ain't 6'2". You're lying to me. Yuki is 5'8", and he's 6'2". Lies. Lies. NBA propaganda to make a little white guy can dunk seem taller than he is. No, because not only is he short, he's too weak. He can get pushed around like a rag doll down low. That's why he can't play in this league. Seriously, they're all talking about, oh, if he just got a shot, he'd be able to be an all-star. He'll be Steph Curry. You're crazy. That kid has no strength. He get pushed around. In fact, he's in G League getting posted up by stronger guards like Elijah Martin. What do you think's going to happen in the NBA? The man is a liability, and this league is all about weakness exploitation at this point. You have one weak link in your starting lineup or in your lineup, people are going at it like a vulture at carrying. Seriously. Oh, Mac McClung's in. Let's just back his ass down and score on him all day. There's reasons why dudes don't make the league outright. And his body, once again, and who he is, even though Blackhawks fan this, matters in this situation. Trust me, it matters. The NBA is a big boy league with big guys who run like guards. And even if you're a little guard and you're talented and this and that, it's fun to watch Yuki. And as one of the Raptor freaks said in the chat last night, those guys are sideshows. Those guys are entertainment. Those guys are fun to watch. A dunk artist and a really amazing passer in Yuki Kawamura. But these guys aren't NBA full-fledged players. They're fun to watch, and they're fun to root for, and they're cute. But they're not necessarily full-fledged NBA players. In some ways, Kawamura, he should be happy every single minute he gets on an NBA court. He should be. Seriously. You know, this league is not totally welcoming every next Muggsy Bogues. Let's just put it that way. And, man, people are unrealistic about Mac McClung. Sure, he can score. The other thing I'm going to say, first of all, Mac McClung's a very good dunker. He's a 3-time dunk champion, and that's amazing. In some ways, that is a huge goal and an accomplishment. And he can be a very good scorer. He can shoot threes. He can attack the basket and do wild circus shots. But his game, the way it's built, is fundamentally not a good game. It's high on quantity and not necessarily on quality. And you can look at his box score, what he did against us last night, and you can see it. And you can look at the last 5 minutes of game last night, and you can see it because he got open shots. He was taking the big shots to win, but because he shoots like 15 for 39, he's missing way more than he's making. So when you really care about making the game to win, he's taking shots and he's bricking them at the end of the night. Meanwhile, Elijah Martin is backing him down like a bully, putting him in the middle of the lane, like right on his butt, and turning around and putting shots over him, money over and over again in clutch and winning the game. So there's differences here. Look, I've come down on Elijah this year about whether he's an NBA player, and he's starting to prove a case that he has a place, and it's in a way that I didn't even think he would. It's in the strong arm. It's in the fact that he's such a strong little guy. Even if he's not tall enough, the man's muscling people. In fact, I've seen in 905 recently with Elijah Martin, his whole thing is, I'm going to back you down close to the basket. And even if you're taller than me, I'm going to get you room off of me, and I'm going to turn around and shoot it over you anyway at an angle or off the backboard, and I'll make it sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So it's interesting because Elijah's starting to carve out an identity with these muscling moves coming at the basket and backing people down that I'm like, okay, if he can do this at the NBA level against other guards, he may have a full-fledged NBA career. And I'm going to have to eat words about Elijah Martin from the beginning of the season because he's starting to prove more to me that there's tangible skills that will translate just because that strength and that muscle he's using right now, he looks even bigger, honestly, than he started the season too. His shoulders and his arms are looking jacked. So there's half what I just said about Mac McClung being too weak and get pushed around. That's not happening with Elijah Martin. They could put Mohamedou Gay on him last night, and Mohamedou Gay's reed thin with the longest arms in the G League, and Elijah Martin can guard him fine because he can move him around with his strength no matter what. He's like, oh, you're coming this way? All right, I'll just push you this way, and you can't go exactly where you want to go. That's part of it right there is strength. Yeah, it's strength. Stargate's in the house. Good to see him, man. Blackhawks saying AJ only knows Scotty for a year. DeMar and Kyle had years together. I'll not make much of Scotty and AJ. I just don't like the vibes. Like he was better than him. I just don't like that, Scott. Seriously, don't be elitist with your own teammates. That's all. And maybe that's just me reading the situation. That's just me reading the situation. Scotty's been around AJ for a couple years now. And I know AJ in interviews has said glowing things about Scott. And he thinks Scott is just like a really fun, friendly guy. So maybe I'm reading into nothing. But it just didn't look right, Open Gym. I'm just going to say that. It just didn't look right. Maybe these guys are huge guys. And it's hard for them to be around each other on the plane. I don't know. Either way. Stargate saying, good morning, Raptor Freak family. I'm off tonight, so I get to watch a game for once. Yeah, it's not on tonight. It's in the afternoon, 3:30 p.m. I hope you're not working during the day. He's like, I'm off tonight. I get to watch the game. Oh, the game's at 3:30 this afternoon at Eastern. I hope you can watch the game still. I hope you can. Neil's saying big difference between JFL and CMB. CMB has trade value. JFL, yeah. Well, no, listen, Neil, that's not the point of what I'm saying. is sometimes these guys will make verbal slips about how they see their future and they don't even realize it. But people like me catch it. And he kind of said a while I'm here kind of thing. Either way, we'll just have to see how it all goes with Colin Murray-Boyles. I'd like to see him stay in a Raptors jersey as long as possible. And I want him to continue to play for us. And in some ways, I hope he has loyalty for us. That's all I'm saying right there. That's right. That's right. Let's see. Colin is replaceable. So if that's his attitude, then move on. Then move him. Well, I don't know for sure. In some ways, it's an early glimpse. And maybe it's full of shit. And maybe it's like something making something into something. I mean, I hope that's true. It's just there's a lot of overtures in different ways, like whether his initial reaction to how he got drafted by us, his obvious glazing for the Celtics. There's a lot of bad signs here. There's a lot of bad signs, but I don't know. Some of it has to do with loyalty, and some of it has to do with like, are you going to just take your development years here in Colin, and then you're going to try and get out of here as a free agent at some point? We'll have to find out over time. But either way, man, Colin Murray-Boyles, don't fuck up your career by getting ahead of yourself. Stay present. And don't give us clues about where you're premeditating where you want or what you want for the future. Just go through the motions, because it could very well be you are a Raptor for your whole career and you get as much money as you've ever dreamed in your life. So don't be closed-minded to this. And if you're already thinking, well, I'd be great if I was in this jersey or that jersey, man, that's not the right way to be thinking, Murray-Boyles. In some ways, you are acting like a mercenary, saying this is the team I work for, and I'm going to do what I need to do for this team. That's the right attitude to a degree, especially in the NBA. But don't get ahead of yourself. You wear a jersey, and you stay true to that jersey while you're in it, is what I'm saying. Yeah, let's see. I was glad to see Scotty's mom there. Yeah. It is always awesome to see Scotty's mom. And like he had so much good support around that All-Star weekend. It was awesome. Yeah, and I thought it was kind of funny to see him talking to Drewski in the locker room before the competition and them setting all that stuff up. Yeah, I mean, it was a great All-Star weekend for Scott, man. It's just open gym. If you're going to show us the behind-the-scenes stuff, maybe leave the ugly stuff out, like the Cybertruck. Leave that out, seriously. Because a lot of us are at this point, I see that as a Nazi car at this point. The Cybertruck is Elon's symbol, and Elon is a Nazi. Elon is a white supremacist. Elon is actively helping Donald Trump kill people of color in the United States. Elon stole all of the data of the Americans in his Doge bullshit that he did last year at the beginning of the year. And that's criminal. He's a criminal. So Scotty, driving around in a truck that symbolizes Tesla is not good. I already judge people for just driving Teslas. But the Cybertruck is the ultimate symbol of fucking white supremacist Nazism. And I know you don't stand for white supremacy, Scott. So why the fuck would you drive that truck, that Cybertruck? Seriously, take that shit back and go get a better vehicle. You could get any vehicle you want. Why the fuck would you drive that ugly dumpster looking piece of shit is what I'm saying. Right there. Yeah, there you go. Stargate saying, send Colin to Sacramento for Maxim. Let him go to a shit franchise if he doesn't want to be here. Daddy, Stargate, I don't want you to go too crazy on this. In some ways, it's just me with initial impressions from that open gym episode. You go ahead, watch it yourself. And maybe I misread him. Maybe he was meaning while I'm here and he meant All-Star Weekend. I don't know. We'll have to see. And I don't think that's an equal trade. I mean, Renault is a second rounder, right? It's not an equal trade. Neil's saying, I'm not sending Colin away. He got his rights and his trade value is high. You ride that wave. Yeah, I'm not trying to trade him or anything, guys. I'm just initially reporting what I read as a Raptors freak. And the energy I read from him is not good right now. In some ways, he's posting more stuff without having Raptors gear on his social media. See, I pay attention to all this shit, CMB. I do. Your brother's awesome. And great to see James Murray-Boyles and y'all's mom in the episode also for a second there. Yeah, James Murray-Boyles, respect to you, my guy. You're a great dude. And talk to your brother. Get your brother more right with the Raptors, seriously. Because he can't be doing this. Because autistic people like me will read into it and see it. Because I can see stuff that people don't see normally. That's right. Let's see. Neil saying sometimes height measurements are done with shoes on to steal a few inches. Yeah. And they do it like, I think it's propaganda, honestly. The NBA has been propagandizing heights for a long, long time. This is not anything new. They did it with Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley is not 6'7". The man's like 6'4". But they wanted to make him seem more impressive and sizable, so they jacked his height up. It's very Andre the Giant. Andre the Giant was really like 5'10", not 5'10", 6'10". Why did I say 5'10"? That sounds crazy. He's really like 6'10", but they marked him at 7'2" because it sounded more impressive. So think about that. If Vince McMahon is making the heights of the wrestlers jacked up a little bit higher, and they do wear boots that have a little bit of a platform on them to make them look taller when they're out there. If you look at wrestling boots classically, there is a bit of a platform underneath it to make them even taller than they are. And, you know, they want them to sound impressive and big. Hulk Hogan sounds better at 6'9" than at 6'7", which is what he really was, right? So think about that. That there's players in the NBA that they want to promote and make them seem larger than life, like Charles Barkley. Happy birthday yesterday, Charles. 2 days ago, actually. They will say instead of 6'4", he's 6'7". Now, think about the reverse. If there's players that they're not really big about making a bigger deal, they may actually put their heights lower. Like they've done this to Siakam his whole career. So they've said Siakam was 6'7" for the longest time. Man's closer to 6'10" than 6'7". We know this. We've seen him stand out there with other players, and we've seen his height like compared to other people. And it's like, whoa, Siakam. And think about how they would do that to us. Every single Raptor that comes to our team, they get a couple inches marked off of them just so that they look shorter on the roster sheet. And Scotty is not 6'7". There's a lot of places to put him 6'7", 6'8". Man, that dude is closer to 6'11" than 6'7". So it's like you can see where they're standing. So in some ways, heights and reported heights and official heights reported by the NBA, a lot of them are malarkey sometimes. That's why I don't believe that Mac McClung is 6'2". I do not believe that. There's no way that dude is just slightly shorter than me. There's no way. There's no way. Absolutely no way. Raptors Champs is saying, good morning, Raptors Freaks and Champs. Good morning to you, sir. Champions 2019. G League champions 2017. Let's go. Neil's saying Norm was a strong player in the beginning before he improved his shooting. Yeah, Norman is such a great success story. And I love the part with him in Open Gym. And I also just like, man, his grind started in Toronto, and he'll always be loved the city and the championship and the things that happened here for him to get to this point in his career. And it was really awesome redemption for him to get an all-star this year. That's huge, man. Norman Powell being an all-star, if you had asked me that, like, you know, even around our championship, I wouldn't have told you that he could be an all-star in his career. Like, seriously, think about it. After our championship, the parade, him with a cigar on the bus and everything like that. At that point, would you see and tell yourself that Norman Powell would be an NBA All-Star at some point in his career? No, because he was a bench guy pretty much for us the whole time, and he's just blossomed and continue to grow. His grind is good. It's gotten him to here. So, yeah, that's impressive to me because I honestly, I couldn't see Norman as an all-star ever, and he did it. He did it this year, which is amazing, man. Yeah, and Neil's saying, look at it this way. Scotty ate from AJ's table. They're good. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm making nothing out of nothing. I don't know. I would just say Open Gym, watch your edit. Seriously. You want to promote the team in a good way, and in some ways, you're showing some stuff on this All-Star weekend that wasn't good. Wasn't good. Let's just put it that way. Yeah. Oblonsky's saying facts. Listen, I don't want to start anything. I'm sure that Scotty and AJ are fine. It's just I didn't like the way Scott was moving. That's all. Maybe it was the Cybertruck pulled up, and I was like, what the fuck is this? And then he gets on the plane, and he's like sitting in the back of the plane, and AJ's kind of – I was reading AJ's face, and he seemed a little disappointed. Like he was like, I don't know. It could very well be as simple as this. AJ Lawson was very enthusiastic and happy and just kind of like upbeat and just like, yeah, man, let's go. LA, my guy. Yeah, let's go. He's like this. This guy's like, yeah, we're going. I get to do this all the time. It's not a big deal. Come on. Maybe that was the kind of the matching energy wasn't right. And then like AJ's like, come on, man, Scotty, come on, let's get crazy. Let's happy. Come on, you know. I don't know. That's the way I was reading that whole situation right there. It's kind of weird, man. Trevor's saying until CMB says he doesn't want to be in Toronto and plays for the Raptors, no judgment here. Yeah, and in some ways, I don't want to read the tea leaves too deeply, especially if it's something like this. But I will pay attention to signs. If he's out there on the court busting his ass and he's adding up the wins for the Raptors, there's no problems here. It's just, we can be sensitive to this because this has had a pattern throughout our franchise where people may be playing for us and taking money from our team, but they really have no allegiance for our team. In fact, most of the first 15 years of our franchise, it was like this. Nobody really had respect for our team in the way that I'm demanding it now. And sure, maybe in the past, an American could come up to the United States and act cavalier towards us like Vince Carter and Tracy McGrady. But it's not the case anymore. This is a real thing here. We've had Fred VanVleet. We've had Pascal Siakam. We've had Kyle Lowry. And we know what true dedication and true loyalty looks like. And, people like Chris Bosh and Vince Carter, we don't want people like them on our team. And Murray-Boyles, if you're like them, well, at some point, we're not going to want you on the team, with whether you don't want to be on the team or whatever it is, because I don't want no fake-ass Raptors. No, like Chris Bosh or Vince Carter. I don't want that shit around my team because we're going towards another championship, and I want real ones to come with us to get that second Larry O'Brien. Yeah. I mean, that's the way I look at it. Neil's saying this. The only positive out of Donald Trump is we know all the 8 aligned with him are scoundrels. True faces are revealed. Yeah, it's scary, and we want accountability. And, other places are arresting and dethroning and making people quit. There's a professor at the University of Waterloo here in Canada that was associated with Epstein, and he's been forced to step down. There is accountability for some of the people from the Epstein files already, like Prince Andrew, but there isn't for certain people, and that is a problem. And that is a problem right there. We're going to see how this all goes over time. All right, let me keep going with the stream today. Let's see what else I got on my chat. So let's go ahead and do the stars of the game for the 905 game last night. My number one star of the game for the 905 win last night was Elijah Martin. Elijah was really the captain and the leader of spearheading the fourth quarter to win. He got into it for a second. He was very passionate. There was some physicality. Mac McClung threw him to the ground. He did a dirty play. He grabbed his arm and pulled him down on a drive to the basket, and he hit the ground hard, and he immediately got up and was ready to get in Mac's face. But Georgie of Georgia, one of their centers off the bench, got in between them and stopped it. I like that fire by Elijah Martin. And that was a dirty play by Mac McClung. And the referees gave him a flagrant foul. Yeah, totally dirty, man. The guy's in the air and he grabbed it. You grabbed his arm and he came down sideways. Mac, why would you do that to somebody else when you're going to probably come at that basket like that and you wouldn't want that to happen to you? Yeah, so I'm not mad at Elijah Martin for popping back up like he wanted to come at Mac McClung because that was a dirty play. And we called it out, and none of the Mac Glazers had any defense for him because they saw it was absolutely true. The other thing that was interesting in this game, and it happened in the game on Friday night too, is there was a late three by Mac McClung where he kind of landed weird with a defender near him, and the referees would go and check whether it was a flagrant foul by the defender because they didn't give him a clear place to land. And in both cases, when they went to go look at the replay, Claudia Mula, on both nights, they recognized that, well, Mac McClung was actually doing the Trae Young kick out. That the defender, Tyreek Key in this case last night, did not get underneath him when he shot the three. Mac McClung jumped forward and he kicked his feet out like trying to get the flagrant foul. So both times the call was not happening, and the referees got it correctly. So, yeah, that was an interesting play. But Elijah Martin, 35 minutes, 26 points on 10 of 17 shooting, 3 of 4 from 3, 2 of 4 at the free throw line. Yeah, he had a couple bad misses right at the end of the game that were stupid. I'm like, these are clutch free throws. Ice the game, Elijah. And he could have iced the game with a couple free throws, but he missed both of them. It was like, come on, Elijah Martin. What are you doing, bro? Don't miss free throws in the last 2 minutes of the game when you could be iced in the game with the deficit. Seriously. 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 turnover, 4 steals for Elijah Martin. He was the +1. Yeah, he really was the leader in the end of the game and the heart and soul of the 905 and their comeback and taking that game and winning it. In some ways, I could make the connections to the Raptors 905's great clutch closing out games to Elijah Martin. That in some ways, just like Shed has a winning factor on the Raptors, Elijah's got a winning factor that he brings from Florida Atlantic and University of Florida. And it manifests in the last 5 minutes of the games where he's going above and beyond. He's taking some of the tough shots. He's going in to get very high percentage shots and executing them. And he's helping to win the game. And some of his defensive intensity and how he's playing them when they have the ball. And some of it is him taking his shoulder, lowering it, and pushing to his way to the lane and making really close 10-foot shots when they really matter. So kudos to Elijah Martin, a true leader last night for the 905 and their victory. My second star is Sar. My second star is Sar. Yeah, Olivier, on the day after his birthday, he got the start, and he was really, he was chippy too at one point. He got pissed off and kind of showed a lot of emotion. I like that. He wasn't taking no crap, and at some point, he got pissed off. I think that Lachlan guy is really a goony guy, and he does a lot of extra physicality, the guy from Australia that's on the Windy City Bulls. And, Olivier took a little exception to some of the shit he was doing at one point in the game. He got a little pissed off. 27 minutes, 21 points for Olivier, 7 of 9 from the field, 4 of 6 from 3. I was completely wrong at the beginning of the season when I said Olivier Sarr is not a three-point shooter. I was stupid. Why did I say that? He's totally a three-point shooter. 2 of 3 from the free throw line, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 3 turnovers, and a steal, a -6. As the season goes on, I have more and more respect for the French center that plays for the Raptors 905. I really do. Whether it's his stats are getting better, whether it's his defense is evident that he helps us. We had a way better start in this game with him starting than Jamison Battle on Friday night. That we didn't allow the Bulls to get 44 points in the first quarter. And in some ways, Olivier Sarr is a defensive deterrent as a shot blocker, and he does kind of help rim protect, really does. So I got to give him a lot of credit, man. And in some ways, this season, I've gained more and more respect for you, Olivier. In the first part of the season, you were trash, bro. You were playing horrible. But, man, you've been playing better and better as the season goes on. And I have to recognize that. My third star of the game is A.J. Lawson. Brampton, man, we've been talking about just now. 35 minutes, 25 points, 8 of 17 from the field, 5 of 10 from 3. 4 of 4 at the free throw line, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 turnovers, and a steal, a -6. AJ is just AJ, man. We need him to score. When there's a high-scoring game like this one, we scored 141 points on Friday. We scored 141 points last night. That's 282 points in 2 games. Yeah, you're going to need AJ Lawson to drop some points to get that kind of points. So, yeah, 25 points for AJ. Great game. It's he shot pretty good. And he was just really, once again, one of those guys that stirs the drink because he's just such a quick player up and down and all around. And he's going to do great things on defense, and he's going to speed the game up for you too. And he's good to go get points when you're starting to stagnate. He's going to put those jets on, and he'll figure out a way to put the ball in the hoop. And we like that. We like that about our A.J. Lawson. Fourth star of the game, Tyreek Key off the bench. See, this is one of the cool things about the game last night because it's so high scoring. We have 4 Raptors 905 players score 20 or more. That's awesome. When you have 4 guys on your team scored 20, that's awesome. Tyreek was one of them off the bench in 25 minutes. 20 points for Tyreek, 6 of 11, 1 of 3 from 3, 4 of 4 at the free throw line, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 turnover, and 2 steals, a +5 for Tyreek Key, who's absolutely necessary to get that scoring number to 141. And Key has been very, very in the zone in the last 2 games with shooting and just being a professional scorer. One of the things I love about Key is that when he shoots it in such a pro way that he gives himself the highest percentage of the ball to drop through. It really is one of these guys who has a light touch, and when it comes up and it hits the rim, if it's just not right exactly, it has the kind of bounce around that it will fall in. Shooter's touch. And he has that. There was a shot last night that he didn't shoot very well, but because he had shooter's touch and because he's like that, it fell in, actually. It was like it did not look like it was supposed to go in, but he had the nice shooter's touch, and it did fall in. So, yeah, kudos to Tyreek Key. 5th star of the game, Tyson Degenhart. Now, he came on. He almost got 20 points himself. He had 19. So it's like we had 4 guys with 20 points, and then we had a guy with 19. In 30 minutes, Tyson, 19 points, 7 of 12 from the field, 3 of 3 from 3. Got his only free throw, 1 rebound, 2 assists, 1 turnover, and a block. Plus 20 for the Boise State all-time leading scorer. And, yeah, I was trolling the Mac McClung people. I was like, well, according to you, Mac McClung is this and this, all-time leading scorer is high school and all this kind of crap. Then Tyson Degenhart's a Hall of Famer in the NBA because he's the all-time leading scorer for Boise State. But it's really cool to see Tyson more aggressive. I keep feeling like there's been a lot of times this year where the 905 could get more from Tyson Degenhart, and if he just step up and be more aggressive to look for his offense. And, well, he did that last night. So kudos to you, Tyson. You look fantastic. And I love the 3 for 3 from 3. It's 7 of 12. He's mixing it up. He's shooting from all over the place. And a 7 for 12 shooting is really good. We are going to give 7 stars once again because this is a jacked up game. So the 6th star of the game last night is A.J. Hoggard. A.J. got a double-double off the bench, 23 minutes, 11 points on 4 of 10 shooting, 1 of 2 from 3, 1 of 2 from the free throw line, 3 rebounds, 10 assists, 1 turnover, 1 steal, a +5. The thing about A.J. Hoggard is he's doing a really good job being a passer. Obviously, with the assists, he had 13 assists in the game on Friday. And, well, when he wants to score, he has bully-type scoring just like Elijah. And in some ways, what he does is he drives down the center of the lane, and he kind of has his arm guarded, and he comes down, and he just kind of puts it up and over people in the lane, and he has a very strong finish. So I like A.J. Hoggard, man. He's been a real good addition. Like, I didn't know who the hell this guy was at the beginning of the year. I was like, who's this goofy guy? But as he's gotten more and more opportunities, man, this dude's a good player. He's a good scorer. He's a good passer. And he's been a solid dude for the Raptors 905. In fact, one of the reasons why I like Hoggard is because, like Elijah, he's a very strong guard. And the Windy City Bulls announce crew was noting this. There's like a big difference in this game. And I'll get back to my point earlier, is that the Raptors 905 guards are very strong guys. And meanwhile, you got Yuki and Mac trying to guard them. So come on now. Don't tell me that that doesn't matter. Height may matter and not matter sometimes, but strength matters. That's for damn sure. Go ask Fred VanVleet or Kyle Lowry. Strength matters, and A.J. Hoggard has that strength. My last star of the game for the game yesterday is Jarkel Joyner. Jarkel got to start once again. Solid contributions. 27 minutes, 10 points, 4 of 10 from the field, 2 of 4 from 3, 3 rebounds, 7 assists, and a turnover, a +4. Just a little bit of another adding guy. I could have picked a couple different people for that one, but I picked Jarkel just because he's been solid. And like Tyreek, he's really a scorer for the team. And we need these guys, even if they're not AJ or Elijah, we need these guys to chip in and be aggressive to try and get their points too. And Jarkel did a good job with that. Honorable mention to Julian Reese off the bench, 22 minutes, 5 points, 2 of 4 from the field, 1 of 2 from free throw, 10 rebounds, 2 assists, 0 turnovers, and a block, a +6. Juju Reese is a keeper. Juju Reese is just a load. In some ways, he's very difficult for people to deal with as a physical specimen. So, yeah, good. Keep going, Julian. You're doing fantastic. And then finally, Jonathan Mobo had a little bit of a dud game last night. Some people were talking trash about him in the chat, which I don't think is fair. In some ways, maybe Andrew Jones limited his minutes as the game went on because maybe he has to play today at 3:30 for the Raptors against the Bucks. So, yeah, Jonathan, 16 minutes, 4 points on 2 of 5 shooting. He misses only 3, 4 rebounds, 5 assists with 1 turnover, a steal, and 2 blocks, a -14 for Jonathan, the worst plus-minus on the team last night. Sometimes it's just not a good night for somebody, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Going to the other side, I better glaze Mac McClung just for a second. 39 points from Mac in 35 minutes, 13 of 24 from the field, 5 of 11 from 3, 8 of 10 from the free throw line. They should just let that man be a full-time NBA player. Okay, where's his spot? What's his team? Why is he on that team? Does it make sense? These are all things that people need to worry about. And Buddy was in the chat yesterday saying he's in sports management and he knows because he studied it. Well, you don't live on the moon, motherfucker. That's what I'm going to say right now. Everybody who thinks they understand GMing in the NBA, you don't live on the moon. You don't understand what it means to jump around with no gravity and have no air to breathe and drive around in a moon rover. That's a totally different world being a GM, the realistic side of it and the side that you guys perceive that you think it is from the outside. Nah. Once again, I'll remind people there's politics, there's relationships, there's all kinds of other extra little things in the middle of anything. And everybody just saying, oh, it's so easy. Why don't they put Mac McClung on an NBA team? They're wasting his talent. If there was an open spot, it's not just good enough to be good. You have to have luck. There has to be an opportunity in a spot on one of the 30 teams that makes sense. And you're lucky that you got in there and you got it at the time. There's guys that are way better than Mac McClung who never even made the NBA because they didn't have the opportunity. So it's not just good enough to be talented or good enough to be in the league. You have to work hard and you have to have some luck because you got the timing and the opportunity with the right franchise. So everybody going on about Mac McClung this and Mac McClung that, that's what you're not seeing, is maybe the opportunity is not there for him exactly right now, but maybe it will open up for him and make it happen at some point. But don't hold your breath. He has detriments and he's a weakness on defense and he will be exploited if somebody tries to use him at a high level in the NBA, is what I'll say right there. Mohamedou was amazing last night, man. He had an even better game last night. And I love Mohamedou. I think Mohamedou Gay is a really cool person. And he had 26 points last night on 9 of 14 shooting, 8 rebounds, and 2 blocks, a +12. He was cool. Yuki is awesome too. Listen, I only have good things to say about Yuki Kawamura. That dude is fun to watch. He has a lot of shades of Muggsy Bogues in his game with his vision and his passing. He had 19 points on 6 of 14 shooting with 12 assists. And yeah, he's just a joy to watch, man. Yeah, that Laughlin guy's annoying. He doesn't miss a lot. 18 points, 7-11 shooting for him. So yeah, that's a talented team on the Windy City Bulls. Leonard Miller's going to be there. They're very talented. But much like Leonard Miller wasn't there last night, Jameson Battle wasn't there for the Raptors 905 either. So yeah, going to the team stats, we'll go ahead and wrap this whole game up in reaction. The Raptors 905 shot worse than the Windy City Bulls percentage-wise, but they still won. They got 7 more shot attempts. We outshot them at the three-point line, 19-13, which is cool. Free throw line, they shot better than us and got way more free throws than us. 43 rebounds for the Raptors 905 to 35 for the other team, so we out-rebounded them. Assist-to-turnover ratio, really cool. Pretty much 3-1 for the Raptors 905, 38 assists with 13 turnovers. And meanwhile, on the other side, 28 assists with 12 turnovers. So they did a pretty good job taking care of the ball also. Fast break points, 34-12 for the Raptors 905. We were running them off the court at times. And the points in the paint, they dominated us, which is weird, 72-58. The game was close, 141-138. We did outscore them in the fourth quarter, 33-22. And that's our great defense shutting them down after most of the game. So, yeah, there's your reaction to Raptors 905 win over Windy City Bulls. The chat was so fun. And it kind of evolved. In the beginning, I was like, oh, this guy's annoying. This dude won't shut up about Mac McClung. I'm blocking him. And so in the beginning, the chat was annoying me. Old Raptors freak, Tristan Trey, respect. In some ways, it was fun and talking to you and hanging out with you, my guy. And, as the game went on, it got more and more fun with having Kareem Thomas breaking his Lent promise and hanging around with us, joking around there. Of course, the super fan Monique Lawrence and I palling around amidst the Mac Glazers, glazing like crazy. Yuki Glazers are fine. They've been coming there and say all the Japanese stuff. And I'm like, I love Japan. Japan's a great country. I'm writing this all in the chat. Go Japan. Yuki Kawamura is awesome. But, man, these Mac lovers, holy crap, were they annoying last night. They were so annoying. And they had those kind of Russian bot vibes. Like, it's like we're just going to come and infiltrate here and just put propaganda down on Mac McClung. It's what it felt like, honestly. We were joking that the one guy seemed like he was his family or something. Man, this dude's trying so hard to get Mac McClung a full NBA contract. He thinks Mark Eversley's in here watching or some shit. You know, it's like the GMs of Chicago must be watching. Get Mac a full contract. These people was there. Are you his cousin? Is that who you are? It's like, seriously. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. All right, let's keep going with the chat and see what you guys are writing in here since I said this. Let's see. Isaac's saying, I heard Mac McClung is 7'2" and can jump over an ostrich. That second part is true. That man can jump over an ostrich. 7'2" maybe is how tall the ostrich is, but it's not how tall he is. No, it's not. Neil said, Lex, not everyone can be on this team long term. Front office has to be in tune and trade them out before they become unrestricted. Chris Bosh was a failure on the front office to do their job. Yeah, I mean, I won't disagree with you on this in some ways. Colangelo fucked up. And, you know, that's why in some ways maybe it's like all the panic with Siakam and Anunoby and Van Vliet around the time when they were about to leave. It's like everybody worries because much like Chris Bosh, you know, we had a huge Hall of Fame asset that we got for nothing for him. And he just walked and went to South Beach. Yeah, I'm with you on this in a lot of ways, Neil, what you're saying. I know not everybody can be on this team long term. And as we go down into future, we keep going forward and up in the standings and winning. In some ways, we're going to have to make tough decisions. You're exactly right. But some people can make the decisions easier if they're, yeah, what you're saying. That's right. Trevor's saying Trump got somebody to stand up to him like Prime Minister Mark beat him at his own game. What? I don't even understand that. Trump, somebody to stand up to him like Prime Minister Mark beat him to his own game. I don't understand that comment. I don't understand what you're saying. Anyway, I'll keep moving. You know, I'll talk about him, and I don't want to, honestly, because in some ways it's just like, just fucking go away, man. Seriously. Just go away. Neil's saying this, front office has the inside track with these players, so they are 100% responsible if they keep an uncommitted, unrestricted player past the trade deadline. Don't hate the player, hate the game, and front office is the game. I won't disagree with you on any of this. Like, listen, first of all, this are just my perceptions. They could be completely false and stupid, and I should just shut the fuck up. But I just get these like tendencies. Forgive me. I'm a lifelong Raptors fan since the very beginning in '94. And I see the patterns with players, whether they really are into being in Toronto or not. And we look for these little clues. And, you know, people like Shed, I can tell he really likes being in Toronto. You know, there's certain players I'm like, yeah, I know this dude is really happy being here. But then there's, you know, other players where I'm kind of like, man, that dude would stab us in the back maybe down the road. And that's what I'm looking for right there, you know. And I agree with you, Neil, completely on all of this. It'll be Bobby Webster's job to suss this out and make the tough decisions. And I have full confidence in him. This man is a very, very smart, astute person. And, you know, he can premeditate and understand what's coming up in the next couple of years and make the right decisions that are best for the Toronto Raptors. I know he will. I trust him like that. 905 needs a 10-game win streak. Man, that'd be fun. I mean, they're capable of it. This is the tough part of the season to do this kind of stuff, though, because this is coming into the 10-day contract part of the year, where if you have really good players on your G League team, they're getting snatched up all of a sudden out of the blue, and they have to go and play for Portland Trailblazers all of a sudden. So it's like, you know, this happened with Reggie a couple of years ago. Like, we were doing really well, and we could have been in the G League playoffs, and then Reggie got taken from us. Reggie Perry, who was our center, and it was right before the end of the season, and Reggie got signed with the Trailblazers. And it really hurt our end of the season. So to premeditate a 10-game winning streak for the Raptors 905, I love that. But this is the most chaotic part of the season where guys are coming and going. I mean, we don't have Roddy right now because he's playing for Team USA. You know, these guys, they're good. That's part of it too. It feeds the machine. Your guys are so awesome and you're winning. They get noticed, and then boom, all of a sudden they're getting called up. Right at the beginning, the time when you're really in the stretch run, you're trying to get to the G League, you know, playoffs, right? So it's a tough thing. It's a really kind of a weird balance, and that's why part of the reason it's really hard to win in the G League is because if you're really good, your guys get taken from you, right? Neil's saying Mobo and Battle are going to help. Believe that. They need the reps. Yeah, and, you know, at the beginning of the game on Friday, I was worried that Jameson was going there and he's going to get a confidence problem a little bit because, like, man, I go to G League and I can't even do this. But he woke up in the second half and got a really good stat line and helped us win and got the chain. And that made me feel way better because we don't want to send people down like that, like Jameson, and have them kind of lose confidence because things didn't go as well in Mississauga as they hoped, you know. Yeah. Vegan Grass is here for the chat. Man, I'm giving you a dunk, bro, because this is hilarious. He's in the 905 chat with us normally, like regularly, like for years now. I've seen Vegan Grass in the 905. I have not seen you come in here yet with us yet. I appreciate you coming in the Raptor Freak show, my guy. And in some ways, I have a lot of respect for you already, guys, for this guy, because they have been one of the best 905 voices in the chat for years. Honestly, I've been watching you in the chat for a couple seasons now, and it's really cool. He's making fun of the guy had the block, who was the Mac Glazer, saying J-Dog got to be a blood relative. That chat was so funny. It was, and y'all were part of it, man. You guys had some good zingers and some real good creativity, and really like. And the funny thing is, like, they just shut up at a certain point, the other side, because they're just like, man, we can't deal with them. They're funny and they're too smart. It's kind of like that. That's like kind of what it is. And you know that the announce crew can see what we're saying, which is so hilarious. That's why I think it was you that you said it's better without the music, and then they turned it off in the break. Because, like, I don't know, G League teams do weird things when there's pauses in the action. Some of them will just have the camera on the court and you can just see the arena. And I like that because you kind of get a feel and you get to see like the in-game entertainment. But they're stingy in Windy City, and they just want to show a goofy slideshow with Benny the Bull and players in it and shit. And I'm like, man, let me see the Polish dancers. Don't be so fucking greedy with your culture. Let me see your culture. Let me see the Greek halftime show on Friday. No, they're going to put on some sort of weird thing. And then audio mix for these two games against Windy City have been awesome too. It's like the announce crew is like hooked up with the PA system. And all of a sudden, it's like Buddy's trying to announce with his little buddy, and then Whitney Houston's blaring over their voices in the middle of the game. I'm like, whoa, what is this audio mix? These dudes are getting, and I will always love you. It's like going over them. It's like, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. But yeah, interesting broadcast. And yeah, it was better without the music. That's for sure. And y'all are funny, man. Seriously, some of those comments that people were making around it was so funny, man. Vegan Grass was part of it. I'll tell you right now. It was so funny. He's exactly right. Seriously. All right, you're getting a dunk, man. You're getting a dunk just for showing up and coming through the show. And you know, I hope you come through all the time, man, because seriously, we do very in-depth stuff on this channel about the 905 and the Raptors in general. And this is your one-stop shop every single day. Raptor Freak, 4 years in a row now. I've not missed a morning, man. So, yeah, that chat was funny. J-Dog, listen, man, Mac McClung's a great player. He's a 3-time dunk champion. Respect. But that man is not a Hall of Famer in the NBA. You're crazy, bro. Great. Maybe for the dunk contest, he could be in the Hall of Fame, right? Right? 3 times. Blackhawks saying players have to show consistency before being rewarded. One nice game doesn't cut it. Have 8 of 10. And we can talk. There have been a few two-way players that got NBA roster spots due to consistency. Yeah, who's to say what is what? You know, I want to go look at Mac McClung's history in the NBA real quick because I want to. These people were saying some shit last night. I'm like, does that sound right? That doesn't sound right to me. All right, they're trying to say this man has not played in the NBA at all. Okay, he's only played 10 games over how many years now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Over 5 years, he's averaged 2 NBA games a year. Wow. He played 2 games for the Bulls, 3 games for the Pacers, 2 games for the Magic, 2 games for the Sixers, and 1 game for the Lakers. At least he's played for 5 different NBA teams. Like, this man's gone above and beyond 99% of the world as far as his basketball career. But people don't think anything's successful unless they're Steph Curry and they're a Hall of Famer. Like, what the fuck is this? This man's a successful basketball player, even if he never makes the NBA. And people need to start being realistic about what success in basketball actually is. It's not winning a championship every year. It's not being absolutely the best NBA player in the world. If you even get in the G League, you're a good basketball player. I'm sorry. And there's too many people out there that sully that accomplishment in itself. So everybody's saying all that bullshit about Mac McClung. Be happy he's just in the fucking G League. Be happy he's gotten tastes of 5 appearances of 5 different teams in this league. Seriously, be happy for him in those ways. These stats do not tell me that he's going to go out and get 30 points like Steph if he got a full game. No, it does not say that. This man has averaged 5.6 points per game in the NBA during his career. His career high is 20 points in the NBA. He scored 20 points in a game. What team was he on when he got that 20-point game? Oh, you can look at all this on Basketball Reference. He got 20 points when he was on the Sixers in the game once. I kind of remember that. Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. Yeah. Let's see. Neil's saying 10 days help a player's pocket, but can hurt their development. You know what? I can see this kind of. It's like it could go two ways. It's like you go there. I don't know if it hurts their development. I mean, because you could say that them coming to the team and getting the experience of being on the NBA team and the pro level is the whole experience, even if they're not successful, because they see the level of professionalism, they see the way that the coaches run, and they see that how good the team is, and that's always good for development, whether you fail or succeed in that environment, right? Because you have to see what it is, right? Right. Vegan Grass saying, "What's a dunk in this context?" Hey, thanks. We have a contest on this channel. It's a running thing where somebody has a funny joke, or they say something cool, or they do something that's admirable. Sometimes somebody will fact check me and say that you were wrong, Lex, and this is actually the truth. And I'll give dunks to people for contributions to the channel. So you got a dunk for a contribution. Really, it's a lifetime dunk for the interactions on the 905 chat. It's like not any specific thing. I'm just saying, wow, you're here. I'm going to give you a dunk. And because you've been funny in the past. Now we have Kareem Thomas, who you know from the 905 chat, who's in there, KT. He's our dunk champion. So every year, like the last 3 years, he's gotten the most dunks out of everybody. Last year, he tied with Isaac, though. And they got tied, and they are co-dunk champions from last year. And I give prizes on this channel. So if you win the dunk championship, you get like Kareem's getting a signed copy of We the North by Doug Smith. And I give prizes off this channel. I've given jerseys to people, signed jerseys, all kinds of stuff. It's just part of the fun on the channel. So we accumulate dunks all year, and people get dunks on the show here and there. And we have a running spreadsheet that keeps track. So you got your first dunk just from being here today. That's kind of what it is right there. Yeah, no problem. They say no dunks on certain podcasts. We have dunks here. We have dunks here. I see Isaac's funny. He's trying to get a dunk right here. He's going, Alec Radojevic is better than Mac McClung. All right, Isaac, I'll do this. See, Isaac comes through with a dad joke or something every once in a while, and he's on point with it. And this is good. You're going to bring up a Raptors legend like Alex Radojevic. All right. You get a dunk, Isaac. Okay. You say he's better than Mac McClung. Okay. I don't know if that's factual, but we're going to go ahead and give you a dunk just for being a troll. So, yeah, 42. You got the original Jakob Poeltl number. So he's got 42 points on the dunk charts for the season. And at the end of the calendar year, it flips over, and we see who's the number one, and they're the dunk champion. So, yeah, we've done – this is the fourth year of us doing this, and Kareem Thomas is the 3-time dunk champion, just like Mac McClung. Milbester's here. All right, Milbester, our New York Knicks freak. This is Knicks Nation in the house. What's up? Good morning, Lex. How did the Raptors do against the Bucks? Well, we played them at 3:30. Unless I have a time machine, I can't tell you. I cannot tell you. I was watching the Rockets-Knicks game on ABC last night. I would hope you're a Knicks fan. 18-point comeback was nice. Was cool to see Durant going at it. It was Sengun, Jabari, and Thompson. Yeah, the Rockets are an interesting team. You know, it's really kind of a lost opportunity this season because Fred's out. You know, they realize how much they need him. Sure, they're up near the top of the Western Conference, but they didn't trade to get Kevin Durant and do what they're trying to do this year with Fred out. Fred is an essential piece to the Rockets for them to be absolutely the best team they can, because he's exactly the same reason what we missed when he would be out for us when he was on our team. The leadership at the end of the game to guide the young guys on the Rockets in the correct way to close the game out to win. Fred does that. He has the treasure map to winning, just like the Goonies. And and Rockets fans that are smart understand this right now, that their season would be even better if Fred VanVleet was playing, because he could be that floor general, that tempo setter, and that kind of guy that helps land the plane at the end of the game for the Houston Rockets to win. Could they have won against the Knicks last night if Fred VanVleet wasn't sitting out because of his injuries? Maybe. That's very plausible. You know, Kevin Durant's awesome. And yeah, this Rockets team is fun, but it's too bad. What a travesty that Fred's been out this whole season, because this Rockets team would be seriously even better. We know if our steady Freddie was out there. Oh yeah, yeah. I would wonder if they could have beaten them if Fred had been healthy right now. Seriously, I could wonder about that. Milbester's saying OG had 20 points last night, Lex, but Brunson and Alvarado carried us for a comeback win. We're getting hammered with snow and first blizzard in New York City in 9 years. Brutal, near 2 feet. How's snow in Toronto? Well, north of Toronto, it has been flurries this morning where I am out in the Greenbelt, but it's not currently snowing right now. It's kind of sunny out, and maybe we'll get some melt today. So hopefully we'll get some of this snow kind of melted and out of here. Yeah. Yeah, I think the pickup of Alvarado is very good for you guys. He's that kind of player that fits in with y'all's style. He's just a gritty player. And his ties to New York make him really solidly for you guys coming in there. So he's coming in like a bullet to help you guys. And in some ways, as much as I don't want the Knicks to be successful, that's a great pickup for you guys. In some ways, I'm questionable about Sohan. Sohan probably will help you guys in depth things in certain ways and maybe in the playoffs. But Alvarado, wow, what a fit there, man. Is there something wrong with McBride, though? Is that why? Like, because I got to wonder, man, who are these guys stealing minutes from? They coming in like this, and all of a sudden, because I know the way New York does a rotation, it's scant, and there's only usually like 8 guys playing or something like that. At least it was like that with Thibodeau for sure. But yeah, is Jordan Clarkson just not a part of the plan anymore? And Alvarado's coming in and taking his slice. That's a smart move, honestly, especially if Alvarado is giving you a whole new defensive a dimension with his grand theft Alvarado is shit. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Right there. Yeah. Yeah, let's get going. Let's keep going, man. Neil's saying, I won't vote for that guy. I won't vote for that guy. Yeah, of course. Who would? I don't think hardly – seriously, I don't think as many people voted for him. They try to say that he won the election. I don't think he did. I think that Elon rigged the machines in the swing states and absolutely handed this. And they did this criminally. They did not win this election. The whole thing that Trump is a criminal enterprise. And he is literally stealing – from the whole entire country of the United States and all the taxpayers right in front of their faces. And he stole that election too. Don't get it twisted. They need to have a revolution because this man is absolutely a criminal and he's doing it right all in front of everybody. He's a pedophile too. And he's a rapist and he's a murderer. He's all these things, man. And it's like so clear as day at this point. And anybody who supports him, well, you support a pedophile. And that's just the damn truth. There ain't no 2 ways about it. That's it right there. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to go too much into politics. You know, I will talk about it and I'll say whatever the fuck I believe. And I'm not scared to say it either. Let's see. Milbester's saying Alvarado shocked me last night. Brought so much energy and couple steals and layups and key shots. We didn't have heart playing in second half. They were comfortable with Alvarado. Cat energy got the comeback. I heard Cat was instrumental in the comeback late to do that. Yeah. We were happy. We were watching your score. And we were really hoping that the Rockets would pull it off because we do want y'all to lose right now because we're right below you guys. And the closer we can get to you or the Cavs, we can get back to home court advantage in the first round because that's a good goal for Darko and the Raptors right now. Let's get home advantage and be a top 4 in the East because we were there earlier this season. We can get back there. We can get back there. Milbester's saying McBride's been hurt a bit this year. That's why he hasn't played. Okay. He was on my fantasy team last year, so I monitored him pretty closely last year, but not this year. So I was wondering about that because there's a lot of plans around Miles McBride. And that's why I'm wondering, like, I guess Alvarado's taking his piece of the pie. And I guess you guys have kind of given up on Jordan Clarkson to an extent. He may just be an extra shiny offensive weapon off your bench, but he's not a rotation player at this point, is what I'm seeing. Neil's saying Sohan can shoot, can't shoot. Yeah, he's kind of like Rodman because he does the Rodman stuff with his hair and stuff. But yeah, he's goofy, man. I don't know. He's a mercenary. He just went somewhere. In some ways, I don't totally respect Jeremy Sohan right now. I really don't. Milbester's saying Rockets got my respect. I like their team last year and bringing in Durant, he fits perfectly. My second favorite team in the West behind the Nuggets and the Warriors. Wait, that doesn't math. That's your third favorite team then. Fiercely saying happy birthday to Darko and Trace. Yeah, All right, I'll do the birthday segment since she brought it up. Yes, it is the birthday of our newest acquisition, TJD, Trace Jackson Davis. Happy birthday. He has played 2 games for the Raptors now, and he has averaged 5 points per game and 6.5 rebounds, which is really impressive, and 1 assist, 1 steal, and half a block. So, yeah, 2 games so far for TJD, and hopefully he'll play today, and we'll see that. But, yeah, it's Trace's birthday, and, of course, as you said, it's Darko's birthday today also. I believe Darko's turning 48 today. And, well, happy birthday, Darko. And let's get the win for Coach, guys. Let's do this one for Darko today. Win it for Darko and for TJD. So happy birthday to our Raptors that have birthdays today. That's right. Happy birthday, Darko. Milbester's saying our defense is why we've been losing a lot. Udoka was double teaming Brunson all night, and their fourth quarter he didn't, and the comeback was there. Okay, well, why did Udoka let off on that? That's weird. That's weird. Blackhawk saying you can't say it, Lex. You have to sing it. I'm not going to sing that. I don't want to do that. You have to write in that you want me to sing it though. If you're going to do that, like seriously, this is a dumb, goofy thing on this channel. I'll do impressions. I'll do impromptu Weird Al Yankovic parody songs. You got to inspire me. It's like I'm a jukebox. I'm like one of these weird Japanese channels where if you write in a reaction, I'll do a woo. You know, have you seen these Twitch streamers? They're like people just like want to make them react. Well, I'm a little bit like that here. If you guys told me to do an impression of Charles Barkley, I would do it. If you guys told me to sing Bon Jovi's Wanted Dead or Alive, I would do it. You just have to write it in there, say impression, and then put like a colon and say Charles Barkley. And then I'll say, oh, that's terrible. Why did he do that? That's terrible. You know, I do something like that. It's always a hidden Easter egg on my channel is you can command Lex to do goofy shit on the channel, like try and do an impression of someone or sing a song. I take requests. That's the thing. I'm a karaoke artist. I love singing karaoke, and I will sing songs, especially songs that I shouldn't probably sing because they're hard to sing. I'm not afraid to sing some Freddie Mercury. I'm not afraid to sing some Robert Plant or some Steve Perry. Yeah, I can get up those high notes. I'll do that falsetto. I don't mind doing it. That's right. That's right. W's for Darko. That's right. All right, y'all. Straight goods on Canadian goods. Listen, we're playing the United States right now in hockey. And in some ways, I don't know what the score is. Maybe I should go check. Let me go check on the score real quick. Hopefully it's better than it was earlier. Oh, my gosh. They did win. The United States beat Canada in overtime 2-1 in this hockey game this morning. Well, straight goods on Canadian goods, y'all. Made Good breakfast bars are a Canadian company. This ones are in particular are organic soft baked oat bars. They're cinnamon bun flavor. I like to eat these for breakfast sometimes, but this is a straight up Canadian company. Don't need no Nature's Valley. Don't need any of these American corporations. Let's go and buy goods from Canadian companies and keep the money in our economy. So Made Good. These are fantastic breakfast bars. They come in all kinds of different flavors. They got birthday cake, cookies and cream. They got strawberry. They got apple, chocolate. You can get all kinds of good breakfast bars from Made Good, a Canadian company from Ontario. And if you support Canadian companies, well, they hire more jobs and we get more brand recognition for companies that are here. So, yeah, Made Good mornings. I make my morning good by having a Made Good bar every morning. That's right. There you go. Straight goods on Canadian goods. Just bringing some brand identity out so that you guys know the products that come from our country. That's right. That's right. Happy birthday, TJD. That's right. That's right. Fiercely saying Made Good also has red velvet cookies and their granola bars are solid. There you go. There you go. There's a ringing endorsement from MJ holding it down for us over in the Montreal, Ottawa area of the world. That's right. Thank you, MJ. And say hello to Fiercey Jr. I hope she's having a fantastic weekend. And y'all are winning. All right, let me see. Where am I on my tabs? Let me see what I have next. Let's go to the Instagram stories. These are the Instagram stories of the Raptors and Raptors-related people. First, Bruno Fernando is saying this: a man in his heart, the personality of a person, the ways of a person, his thoughts, his deeds, his actions are all based around his heart. For what is a man? A man is his heart. A lying, cheating heart means a lying, cheating man. A loving, merciful heart means a loving, merciful man. A living heart means a living man. A dead heart means a dead man. Regardless to a man's title, regardless to a man's rank, wealth, or position. If the heart is not great, then he cannot be great. But if the heart is great, that man remains great under all circumstances, rich or poor, large or small, for it is in the heart that makes one large or small. That's a quote by Muhammad Ali that Bruno Fernando has posted on his Instagram stories today. And I would say this, man, that is poignant as hell. That is something to live by. Listen, live by your heart and make your heart the right kind of heart. I think this is so apropos to today's world. Seriously good. I guess my friend Thuzy was at the arena this morning, but don't look like nobody's there at Scotiabank Arena. He's an usher for MLSE, a longtime friend of mine, Thuzy. And they had him down there working this morning for the hockey game because they expected a ton of people to come down there and watch the game, but I don't see nobody there. Nobody came down there to watch the game. It's empty. You think people are going to come down there in the morning and go to the Scotiabank Arena, watch it, Rogers, and you're going to charge them? Don't look like nobody came, at least from what Thuzy posted here. That's right. Norman Powell and action photos from All-Star. Norman's awesome. So much good stuff. Oh, my Norm. Go on Miami Heat, Norman Powell, All-Star. That's right. Real Morris Peterson posting an MSU basketball promo from 1996 with him and Mateen Cleaves, and the fire department's coming there to put a fire out. Go on, Spartan Nation. And my guy, one of the Flintstones, the Iron Man of the Raptors, Mo Pete. That's right. We love our culture and we love our Raptors. That's right. Muhammadu Gay posting that he had 26 points and 64% field goal percentage from last night's game for Windy City Bulls. I'll tell you right now, man, even though Muhammadu is so skinny and easy to push around, that dude is fun to watch, man. He is such a good dunker and really, really good shot blocker too, man. David Johnson having more and more success down in Tasmania as he continues his pro career in Australian League. But he is sad today because of the passing of Rondale Moore. I'm sorry, man. True idol to me, forever stamped. I'm not sure who Rondale Moore is, but rest in power, rest in peace, my guy. Sandra Mamu's got a picture of his dog who still has his nuts. That's one thing we learned from Open Gym is Sandra Mamu's dog is intact. And he's also put on blast a teammate from his old team. He's putting Julian Champagny in a Spurs highlight on his Instagram. That's a little interesting. That's a little interesting right there. AJ Lawson with his stat line from the game last night against Windy City on his Instagram. And there's the final, 141-138. Fantastic three-point win by 905. There's Andrew Jones posting it also on there. Andrew's so awesome. I message Andrew on Instagram, and he messages me back every single time. Guys, I have a direct line to the coach of the 905, and I talk to him, and I've been encouraging him all season to keep going, coach, keep winning. And he's like, we're trying. We're going to do our best, Raptors Freak. We're going to do our best. And he was going for a championship. He told me straight up, he said, we are going to go for the G League championship this year. That's what Andrew Jones told me personally in the Instagram messages. Seriously, he does not ignore me. He actually writes me back. It's crazy. It's really, really cool. James Wade is celebrating his son, who's a soccer player. He loves soccer, and he got a couple goals in this game last night. Actually, he got 3 goals. And according to this, Coco Wade lost his voice yelling at his son while he's running around on the soccer field. So good stuff there. We love to see that kind of stuff with James Wade and his son. Jay Simpson, Scotty's friend from Florida State, celebrating a Seminoles win yesterday against Clemson, 70-65 on the basketball court. That's good stuff right there. 905, all kinds of cool highlights. I'm not sure who got the chain for the game last night. If I'm guessing, it could have been Elijah Martin, maybe Tyson Degenhart. I'm not totally sure, but it's probably Elijah Martin. Chris Boucher showing pictures of his kid smiling big. Good morning. Good morning. I guess Chris may be done, man. It's also St. Lucia Independence Day. And they're saying happy St. Lucia Independence Day from the Slim Duck Foundation. Always a Raptor, always a champion. We love you, Chris. And we just want the best things for one of our Canadian Raptors. And I know good things are coming. That's right. There's a happy birthday to Darko from the Raptors on the official admin. And you know what? The Raptors are announcing a weird theme night. You know, this past weekend, we were in Windy City, and we saw them do a Greek night and a Polish night. Well, what is a theme night that the Raptors are going to be doing in the near future at a Raptors game? In fact, it's going to be on the 3rd when we play the Knicks here on March the 3rd. The Raptors are doing a Bills night. No lie. They did a WWE night earlier this season, right? Where they gave out Raptors WWE masks. Well, they're going to do a Buffalo Bills theme night for that Knicks game on March the 3rd. And it's going to be giveaways for Bills stuff, which in some ways it's like it's not the NFL season anymore. Why wouldn't you do this during the NFL season and encourage people to go to games? But you're going to do it after the Super Bowl? This is weird. Now, the one kind of cool thing about this is I think Tracy and Vince are going to come to the game because we know that Vince Carter and Tracy McGrady are part owners of the Bills at this point. And this whole weird, convoluted joint venture that Ed Rogers and Keith Pelley have set up, where the Bills are a partner of MLSE at this point. And Rogers has pledged to promote the Bills in Ontario and grow their brand across Canada to get more fans for the NFL and the Buffalo Bills. And this is manifesting in a Bills night on March the 3rd against the Knicks. That's a little weird. We're playing a New York team too. There's levels to this. Let's just put it that way. And I don't know what this is going to look like. It seems like it's going to be awkward. And man, anything for a buck right now, right? Keith Pelley and Ed Rogers III, anything for a buck. How do the Argos feel about this, my guy? Seriously, this is your own company. Like, you're MLSE, right? You own the Toronto Argos. How does Argos Nation feel about you trying to bring the NFL and Buffalo Bills even more so? I mean, it's already here, and people will be fans of both, but are you going to disregard the CFL and Toronto Argonauts in favor of the NFL and Buffalo Bills? Ed Rogers, what are you doing, bro? Seriously. But it sounds like Tracy and Vince are going to come for the game and be in person at that Buffalo Bills theme night game. So that's pretty interesting. That's pretty interesting. All right, that's your Instagram stories for today. Just taking a look in the world of what's going on with those people. That's right. It's really interesting, man. Interesting stuff. Basketball Maven 1454. Thank you for the subscription. It comes down to genetics. Yeah, sometimes it does. If you have good genetics, you have good leaping ability. If you have height, if you have long wingspan, these can be some of it. Sometimes it's mental ability. Sometimes it's motor skills, hand-eye coordination, reaction time. All the stuff they measure at the combine. In some ways, these are impacted by genetics. I could say that, yeah. Neil's saying this, just balancing out the universe with the okay, yeah, we don't need to do this. I'm trying to stay on basketball. I could talk, I could do a whole other channel on politics. I don't want to. I really don't. I'll talk about things on a need to know or a necessary basis. But just bringing up the dumpster fire that the United States government is right now, just to bring it up daily and check on it, we don't need to do this. I think that you guys can all follow your stuff that you like to follow politically and understand what's going on. Hopefully you're not following the bullshit and the garbage that they're trying to say is like Fox News shit, and you're still with the truth and you still understand what is right and wrong, and you're not falling in with the criminal mafia Trump world. That's all I say, but I don't want to bring this up, man. I really don't. I told you guys, we're not trying to do this every day. That's right. That's right. Sean Bindra, thank you for the subscription. Should the Raptors try to sign Chris Boucher? Man, it's a sentimental idea. And in some ways, it's like, I get why people like to come back and get players that they like to come back. I love Chris too. Number 25, numero 25, is always going to be a part of our history, but his time's passed. We have to let him go. It may actually be that his time's passed in the NBA. Now, are we going to try and just save him? Just keep him in the NBA to help him? No, that's not good business. That's not good for the Raptors and going in the direction of winning. Even if we love Chris and he's sitting at home as bought out and not on a team currently right now, that doesn't mean the Raptors have to save people or be heroes or fix problems in the league, whether they're problem players or stuff like that. We just can't. The thing is, Chris played a couple of years with Darko, and in some ways they weren't a match, but they were nice to each other and they worked through it. And, Chris grew from it and learned from it. And so did Darko too. They were very upfront with each other. And in some ways, all along, Chris wasn't a part of the plans for the long term when Darko came. And really, it's as basic as this. Darko demands a certain level of passing aptitude to be on the Raptors at this point. If you don't have a certain level of passing, he can't work in his offense. And that was part of the problem with Chris. Chris is a fantastic three-point shooter. He's a fun rebounder. He's all kinds of stuff that we love for years on the Raptors, but he is not a very good passer. And every time he'd get the ball, he's more likely to shoot himself than pass to the next guy. So if you think about that with the philosophies of our birthday boy, Coach Rajakovic today, it just wasn't, I'm glad he stayed as long as he did once Coach Rajakovic showed up, because we got more time with him still. But nah, it's not a road to revisit. In some ways, we can be nostalgic and love him and think about all the memories, but they are what they are. If he showed up for some reason and Bobby decided, yeah, Chris is back on the team, I'd be so overjoyed. Don't get me wrong. But it's not good business. It's not smart for building towards the next thing to hold on to the past and hold up a roster spot just for sentimentality. Does that make sense? I mean, man, it's a great question, Sean. I appreciate your subscription, and I wish it could be something, but I just don't see it. In some ways, it's not happening. Yeah, Bobby Blackhawks saying no. Trust Bobby. Front office not looking to fill the spot. Who we have is to make the use of their talent. That open roster spot is so fishy, and I feel like it's Shamshay's. I feel like that is part of it. Like maybe the rule is when your player's on fitness to play panel and you don't have them completely, if you hold the roster spot open the whole time they're on it, you can still have dibs on them when they do get cleared by that medical panel. And I'm hoping that's why this whole entire season Bobby Webster has had an open roster spot on the Raptors, is because that's the seat at the table for our prince from Cameroon. Because we'd like to continue with Shamshay when he gets cleared by that panel. I hope he doesn't go the way of Koloko and ends up on another team and he just got stolen from us in some convoluted ass way by a medical panel. And that's why I think that we have that open spot, is because I don't know if this is for sure. It could be completely wrong what I'm saying, but I'm hoping this is why. That who knows where the doctors say tomorrow Shamshay can play in the NBA. He's cleared. Bobby has to have a spot open for him to be added, right? That's what I'm thinking right there. That's what I'm thinking. Neil's saying if MLSC wants us to go to Bills games, then they need to sponsor high-speed rail to Buffalo. I don't think that they need high-speed rail to get across the border to get to the States, because nobody's trying to go there that much, right? That doesn't seem right. Maybe they have games back up here in Toronto at Rogers Center like they did in the past, where the Bills would play games. That really made Bills Nation crazy and got them upset. The Bills Nation's not totally trusting this new alliance between MLSE and the Bills. They're not totally trusting this. Some of them think it's inroads to try and take the team and bring it up here. They've been worried about that, or the team moving for decades in Buffalo. So, I don't want your team myself. I don't know what Ed Rogers wants to do, but either way, they're in partnership with us, and it's an awkward fit, honestly. In some ways it isn't. I get it. The NFL natural proclivity to root for the Bills in Toronto is there. I know there's a lot of people in Toronto that are Bills fans, but in some ways it's also still awkward. For some reason, it feels so awkward to me. Neil's saying if Shamshay is back, it will be in the 26-27 season. Yeah, that might be right. I mean, that's kind of the thing. Is like it'll be fishy if it's like a year thing. Like, what if all the timing is exactly like Koloko, and it all kind of goes down exactly like Koloko? Then it's going to be really fishy. Because honestly, to me, this kind of stuff should be like lightning. And when lightning strikes twice and it doesn't strike anywhere else, that brings up flags as far as like, wait, this is too similar. Both these guys are from the same country. They play the same position. They have the same timeline of what happened. And it's the same team that's getting penalized for it. That's fishy. You know what I'm saying? Koloko, okay, that was a hard pill to swallow. A lot of us were pissed off about the Christian Koloko situation and how that went down. And Shamshay is like a rerun of it right now, is what it looks like to me, which ain't right, man. Neil's saying, why should we spend our valuable time to get to Buffalo? Make it worth our time. I don't know if they're trying to get people across the border to go to the games. Maybe they just want people to watch the games on TV or buy their merchandise. You can be a fan of the Bills and never go to their games, right? You know, they're advising, a lot of countries are advising people not to go to the United States right now. I heard another story of a white lady who went to the United States to go on a trip around Yosemite and go to some of the national parks in the northwest of the United States. And she was trying to cross the border to get into BC, into Canada. And when she was trying to cross the border, the agents flagged her for an expired visa, but she didn't have an expired visa. It was mistaken. But alas, she had to spend 4 months in a warehouse at ICE. And this is a white lady from UK, like with blonde hair. They put her in there and had her sleeping on the floor for months. And she just went on like a week vacation to go to the national parks of the United States. You think anybody's going to fucking want to go to the United States right now when they're taking little girls that are trying to go to Disney World, the fucking ICE detention for months? Like, she didn't get out until recently. And she's warning everybody in UK now, don't go to the United States right now. It's not safe. How the fuck are they going to have the World Cup? How the fuck are they going to have the Olympics? They're going to be arresting the athletes that are coming there to go to do the shit. Seriously, they're going to do that. Watch. And it'll be an embarrassment to the United States because it's like that. They're a fascist society at this point. You have police that are taking people for no good reasons and throwing them into warehouses and warehousing people. And there's all kinds of other dark shit that's going on inside those places that people aren't hearing about. Yeah, it's a really dark, crazy time. Yeah, why should we go to Buffalo to go to a Bills game? I'm not going across the border. Not while this bullshit's going on with the United States. And they felt the pain of not tourism coming there. They've lost a huge chunk of money from Canadians and all around the world, people not jumping the border or going over there anymore. Because seriously, it is a risk. You could go there, and I don't care if you're an upstanding citizen. It doesn't matter. You could look like me. They're going to throw you in jail, possibly. Because you know why? Because Stephen Miller has quotas. This has always been one of the most convoluted bullshit things about law enforcement and prisons in the United States is that they get government grants for quotas of arrests and detainees, and they are fudging that shit. And they may go and make shit up just to try and make numbers. So that's why that British lady got taken in, even though she had nothing wrong with her. She didn't do nothing wrong because they got to make a certain target number of how many people they're arresting every day or detaining. That's not how you should do justice. It's saying we have a mark, a number that we have to hit every day to detain. If you guys aren't doing it, you're not successful. What if there's not that much going on and you don't need to do this to people? You're taking innocent people in there. That's what's driving this shit right now. And some of it is financial because they have to meet the contracts to get the big cash out money that they're fucking paying to their friends with their big private corporation company, prisons and bullshit like that. So, man, it's a messed up situation. It's a bad system. It's a system for profit and not for humans. And it's for misery. And it's for fucking, it's evil, honestly. It's fucking evil. Yeah, Milbestra's saying we took 2 gold medals in hockey in overtime from you guys. Damn. If you had split it, I wouldn't mind. But losing both, the U.S. did well in the Olympics. I don't give a shit. Fuck the United States. And go ahead and feel it now and feel happy about it, Milbestra. This may be the one time y'all beat us because we ain't going to let you beat us again. So going down the road, we'll see it. We'll see it. Yeah. Because Canada historically, as the men's hockey team does not lose to the United States, this is an aberration. This may be the first time. Like, I think the Kachucks were saying this. It's like, look, we kind of hate the Canadian team, but we're also in awe of them. Because in my entire lifetime, we've never beaten them. Well, they did today. And kudos to them. But don't expect it to be the regular, because Canada will kick your ass in men's hockey on more likely 9 out of 10 times. So, yeah, you go ahead and feel it good about this, Milbestra. You shouldn't have any nationalistic pride right now, honestly, if you're being honest with yourself about the dumpster fire that your fucking country is right now. So, yeah, you go ahead and feel pride over a fucking silly-ass overtime hockey game while your fucking country's turning into a prison camp. Seriously, go ahead and feel pride in that shit. Come on now. All right, let's see. Raptors Redditor of the day is Small Windmill. Small Windmill has a question on Raptors Reddit. A 30-year-old couple wondering if fan day is for us. Laugh out loud. Couple from Alberta traveling to Toronto for the first time for a game. Happens to be the game day before fan day, and we were thinking about going to that too. It feels a bit like it might be more for kids. I don't know. Also, not entirely sure what goes on at it. Anyone with any advice or experiences at it before? Thanks. Yeah, apparently it's like $130. So it is kind of an important decision. Well, fan day is basically this. It is the all-star weekend with just the Raptors team. What they do is they do a dunk competition. They do a three-point shootout. They do a skills competition. And, you can pay a ticket to go there. And the whole entire Raptors team is there. And it's just a fun time. It feels like all-star weekend. But it's kind of like just Raptors all-star weekend. And they have all the players there. And they compete with each other in a three-point shootout between the Raptors. So does that sound fun to you? Do you think that that's just for kids? Well, why the fuck do you condition yourself to think that some things are just for kids and some things aren't? Maybe that's part of the bullshit. Maybe you can be a 30-year-old and enjoy an event that may be targeted more towards children. What the fuck does that matter? I mean, you're limiting yourself if you think, oh, I can't go to this because I'm 30 years old. What if you're 30 years old and you don't have kids, like it seems like in this situation? You can go still. There's no rules or laws against this. Are you too above it? Oh, I don't want to seem like I'm not a good adult because I went to a kids event. What the fuck is that? You like the Raptors? You are here in town and you're only here for a couple days? Take the full experience and stop questioning because of conditioning. People told you, oh, that's a kids event. You shouldn't go. Fuck that shit. I'm 50 years old. I'll go to that shit if I want to. And I ain't got no kids. Who gives a fuck? Go there and enjoy yourself. Yeah, and you putting your own conditions on this small windmill, that's goofy shit. If you want to spend the money and go to that, you have the right to, and you should. And I bet you should, because it's probably a once-in-a-lifetime experience that you will very much enjoy, and it has no age thing on it. It's not fucking Parker Brothers who say this game is for ages 4 to 6. Fuck that. This is a fan day. You're a fan? Okay, you can come. There you go. There's my Raptors Redditor of the day. Just trying to answer a question, do a public service about Raptors Fan Day coming up this week and what it is. It's very fun. Superfan Monique Lawrence will not be attending this year. She went last year, and it was a blast. In some ways, I kind of want to go, but I think it's too late for me to get organized and get going down there for myself. Yeah, that's what I'm saying right there. Yeah, Criscom's here. Good morning, Criscom. Damn, no Scotty. I need my guy Battle to step up. Hit some Diam. Is that you trying to say Diam? Threes. Also need Grady to do his thing. Yeah. I mean, those guys are important. Sure, they could help us. But I'm more worried about Brandon, Colin, and Emmanuel and RJ and those guys. I'm more worried about those guys doing stuff to help us win. But if Grady can chip in, I mean, we don't even know if Battle will play. Battle may not even be in the rotation. He may be just sitting on the bench watching. So you may be holding your breath for Jamison Battle there. Yeah, RJ isn't popular anymore. He's never mentioned. Don't push this bullshit. RJ is very popular. He's been, you know what it is, Bill Bester? It's your fucking city. It's your fault. It's y'all city's fault. You guys don't like that RJ's playing better than he ever has in his career right now. In some ways, the media center of the world is New York City. In some ways, the New York Knicks are a privileged ass team, and they wield a lot of the perception wielding in the machine, the media machine, the NBA. They're burying RJ. They hate this storyline. They could lean right into it, but in some ways, the NBA is a USA propaganda machine, and to have the hometown hero RJ Barrett go home to Toronto and be successful and have a good time, they're not going to put that on blast. So you can say he's not popular. Well, I don't know how he is in Toronto and New York, but in Toronto, he is popular. He's very popular here. But there is a media perception that's going on to bury him, and that's evident. It's whether it's like, overlooking him, not talking about him, ranking him low on Bleacher Report rankings, all kinds of other bullshit. So even up here in Toronto, because of the overimportance of hockey, RJ gets a little ignored up here, because they don't want this storyline of such an awesome story of a Toronto kid playing for Toronto and being successful and kicking ass. A lot of people hate this idea. People like me don't. We love it and we protect it. And we're fighting for him to, his good name and get this. But there's a lot of media forces out there. They're trying to bury him right now. And partly it's because New York Knicks fans aren't happy that the possibility that Emmanuel Quickley and RJ Barrett could be doing better than ever on the Raptors and not on the Knicks. They don't like that. And instead of looking at the truth or saying the truth or wanting to go see if it's true, which it is true, they will try and bury them and try and ignore them. And understand that you have the media center in New York City, and that's from all the media. It will do the same thing. I see it in Knicks fans. Knicks fans are trying to say RJ this, RJ that. The truth about RJ is RJ's having his best defensive season in his entire career, and he is making strides and leaps as a more efficient player than ever. If y'all's knocks and what y'all thought about RJ Barrett, all the problems, all the things you said that led people to think he's a toxic asset is all bullshit. And in some ways, it helps you guys feel better about the trade to just think OG's all this, all that, and RJ is not this. A lot of this is just perception wars with the bullshit from New York. And what you're saying isn't true. He is popular as hell in Toronto. And in some ways, we love our hometown hero, but he's not getting his just due, but he don't care because all he gives a shit about is winning. All he gives a shit about is wearing that Raptors red and representing his country and his city. And he's doing it right. And he's going to have his time at some point. Watch. You know, if he hadn't been hurt this season, he would have been an all-star candidate. He would have been an all-star candidate, but he missed too much time to be realistically considered. And especially with this world format that has put out this year, he could have fit on that world team real easy. And this is the thing. A lot of people's misconception about the Raptors right now is that it's a two-prong attack with Brandon and Sky. Bullshit. It's a three-prong attack. And it is very equal between Barrett, Barnes, and Ingram. And they're not seeing this because, you know, Barnes is going to get his shine. He's going to get his accolades. Brandon got his, but RJ isn't. But they don't realize at the beginning of the season, RJ was carrying his weight equally with those other two guys when we had that 9-game winning streak in November. And it's the same thing. And they don't want to realize it because they gave up on him and they traded him. And they, in their minds in New York Nation, they're just going to think he's garbage. We threw him away. And we don't want to believe that he could actually succeed and be better past us. So this is a lot of bullshit you just said, Milbester. You're going to say he's not popular? No, he's ignored. He's overlooked. And that's on purpose. You know, in some ways, you know, as soon as he switched to the Raptors jersey, just as much as OG switched to the Knicks jersey, there was a difference. OG didn't get no popular or anything when he was here. And we can see where the difference is. And this is where the privilege lies in wearing a Knicks jersey instead of a Raptors jersey. We can see it. We can see it so clearly in the way that Indiana and Pascal gets treated now, in the way that Fred VanVleet gets talked about in the United States. Now he's a Rocket. So don't give me this bullshit. This is perception wars. And New York is a media center that is at the center of the things that are dealing with RJ Barrett. And can we understand why you guys would have the want to sully him and make him be ignored? You know, whether it's the NBA head office and all their bullshit. Yeah. RJ don't care, though. That's the great thing. RJ is a selfless person that only wants the Raptors to win. And he doesn't even care if he scores this or that, or Scotty's the all-star, or Brandon's the all-star. He don't give a shit about any of this because he's like that. And that's the thing. As long as RJ stays healthy, as long as he keeps getting his minutes and playing, he's going to succeed with the Raptors. And we're going to get that ultimate thing. And it's going to be so joyous and amazing. And at some point, Knicks fans are going to be looking in the mirror and be like, holy fuck, RJ actually was really good. And he did actually do this with Toronto. And we were wrong. That day's going to come. It's going to come. And it could come next year. So pay attention to this and understand the phenomena and understand everything that surrounds Rowan Barrett Jr. And it's as evident as a stupid-ass piece by Stunted Growth coming out this week trying to say RJ hit his ceiling. What an idiot. I lost all respect for you and your acumen and what you see, Stunted Growth. When you just said that RJ Barrett has hit his ceiling and he's not going to get any better. No, it shows the New York bias. And I wonder where you're from, my guy. Yeah, you're from one of the boroughs, and this is why you see RJ this way? Well, I don't see RJ that way. I see RJ expanding his defensive game in a major way at this point. I see him you know, one of the things that RJ is doing is he's fitting whatever we need. He's a glue guy. He's doing all kinds of stuff that's winning plays. Some of this stuff doesn't show up on box scores. Some of it is drive and will and doing the things that are tough in the fourth quarter to help the team win. And it doesn't always show up on the box scores, shadow box score stuff. So, yeah, you guys go ahead and sleep on RJ. Everybody is. I'm paying attention, and I see what he's doing. And his ceiling is higher than what Stunted Growth thinks it is, because in some ways his ceiling may not have to totally do with his own individual skill, but what he contributes to his team overall to make them win and get their next Larry O'Brien. Because let's not get it twisted. I've been watching RJ for Canada for years now. And in some ways, the same energy he brings for his team nationally, when we go to places like the Olympics and America, he's bringing that for the Raptors. And it's, you know, if you understand, you guys should know in New York how RJ goes when he wants to try and win the game. It's still there. Y'all can ignore it. Y'all can overlook it. Y'all can, oh, you enjoyed it when he was on your team. And you're like, oh, RJ's getting in that, he's a competitor, he's going to win mode. Yeah, we still got that here. It's just y'all won't want to talk about it. And that's the truth right there. Mic drop right there. That's right. Knicks didn't give a chance for RJ to take next leap. That's somewhat true. You know, Stunted Growth can say RJ's never going to be a number one option on a team, and that's probably true. But that doesn't mean he's not a good player at the third pick in his draft. You know, it's stupid to just assume that a top 4 pick is going to be a franchise player. Well, that's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. How many first picks have been busts? How many people are judging every top 3 pick in the whole entire history of the NBA draft on whether they are all franchise players or not? That's why I'm like, 2-finger salute to you, Stunted Growth, and try and say, well, he'll never be a number 1 player in the league. We thought that because at Duke, he was the leading scorer over Zion, and he was going to be a number 1 franchise player in the league. Well, you dumbasses in New York thought that and trying to build your team. No, but there's nothing wrong with being one of the top 3 players on your team and helping to carry the team in depth and stuff like that. There's nothing wrong with that. It's like, what the fuck do you want, Stunted Growth? There's only 30 teams in the league and only 30 guys can be the franchise player. And how the fuck, where's this math, Stunted Growth? You're going to have 3 top 3 picks every single year. Where's the math with all this and how this works out? Yeah, stupid ass shit, man. Convoluted shit. And making a Stunted Growth about RJ Barrett in one of the most successful seasons he's had in his career personally doesn't make no fucking sense to me. Like, you're doing this in the middle of season? What is the impulse for why you want to do this? To me, it smacks of New York insecurity. That what if RJ Barrett goes to Toronto and gets better as a player and he goes way past himself as a Knick? That's what that smacks of to me, Milbester. Whether it's Stunted Growth or the New York fans and how they perceive Barrett, and to a degree quickly. That's right. Milbester's saying RJ never hit his ceiling, and New York coaches let him down. Yeah. I mean, in some ways, I mean, Thibodeau was such a weird coach in some ways. I mean, I think it's not even the coaching. I think RJ is a good citizen, and I think the coaches tried to work with him. I think that your market is too unrealistic with your fans and your press. It's the same thing the Leafs go through here in Toronto. Y'all are perfectionists, and you're crazy. And RJ's not a perfect player. He does make mistakes. He misses free throws. He blows defensive assignments. But y'all want him to be fucking perfect. And when he wasn't perfect, y'all jumped on him and were toxic towards him. That's why it's like when RJ got drafted to the Knicks, I felt sorry for him immediately. I said, oh, damn, because I love RJ. I loved him before because I knew he was a top Canadian player coming up in the NBA. And it was he's somebody I've been watching, like, even though he's not on our team when he was on New York. I was like, man, I was so sad. I was like, man, New York's a horrible market for him to be in because they're going to tear him up in bullshit ways that are none necessary and not fair to him. And it's the fans on social media. It's the media themselves and the newspapers and how they write opinion pieces and all their bullshit, labeling him a toxic asset and all this shit. You know, a lot of it's just perception, Milbester. And fans today will read something on an article and they'll just parrot it and think it's just truth, and it's an opinion. It's not actually the truth. And that's what I say about RJ right there. RJ himself is the truth. When he plays for the Raptors, we win more often. When he plays for us, we win more often. And that's the truth. In some ways, I forget about Paul Pierce or whoever the fuck was called the truth before. RJ Barrett's the truth. And when he comes to the court, he's going to show y'all the truth more and more over times. And when he holds a Larry O'Brien over his head with a Raptors red jersey on, oh my gosh, that'll be one of my happiest moments of my life to see a hometown hero and RJ Barrett, number 9, getting the second Larry O'Brien Cup with Scotty Barnes on the Toronto Raptors. When that happens, there will be no denying, and all this bullshit people have said about RJ, and they'll be like, holy shit. And all the people inside our nation that aren't really our nation, these are Knicks fans coming in saying, trade RJ, because they hate the fit. They hate him being a hometown hero and being in his home team. So we have all kinds of wolves in sheep clothing pulling up in Raptors Reddit saying we should trade RJ for this person. All these trade suggestions for RJ. These aren't fucking Raptors fans. These are other fans, NBA fans, Knicks fans, Celtics fans, just trying to tear up a good thing that they see, a nice thing, a happy thing for the Toronto franchise and a hometown hero named RJ Barrett. That's a lot of it right there. That's a lot of it right fucking there. I'm going to lay it out for you. And any Raptors fans that really, truly love this team, you stand with RJ and you support RJ being on our team long-term, because wouldn't you like to see a hometown hero, that kind of culture built? Not a guy like Kawhi, fucking mercenary, came in for 1 year and got a championship with us. No, build it with these guys, with Brandon, with Scotty, with RJ. And think about how fucking much the payoff would be for the Raptors. That second championship parade. Well, RJ Barrett on the top of that bus. Think about how that would feel, Raptors fans, and what that NBA storyline would be, and how much Adam Silver may not want to see it. That's why I want to see it. That's why I want to see it, because New York Knicks fans will never want to see RJ Barrett hold the Larry O'Brien Cup above his head in a Raptors red jersey. Yeah. That's what I'm saying right there. Boom goes the dynamite. That's right. Jordan from Canada, thank you for your subscription. Thank you for the stream. You're welcome. Every single day, 9:30, I'm doing this. I usually try to do 2 hours till 11:30, but sometimes, hey, there's no set time. I could be 2 to 3 hours. I could be 1.5 to 2 hours, so anywhere in there. Yeah, Milbester's saying Kwame Brown, Ben Simmons, Sixers draft. I know. There's all kinds of good examples. In a lot of ways, RJ is already a successful NBA player. He's not a bust. So you can't say he's Anthony Bennett. You can't say he's Greg Oden. No, you can't say that kind of shit. So it's like, yeah, what is this? It's like they're going to say he's not a good player. I mean, Stunning Growth does say in his piece, he said, I'm not saying RJ's a bad player. It's just that he is not a number one player for a franchise, and he's hit his ceiling. The biggest answer about hitting his ceiling, he plays for Darko. Nobody hits their ceiling with Darko. These people continue to grow and get better and better. That's what I heard about Garrett Temple. Garrett Temple is how old? How many years in the league? And apparently behind the scenes, they're saying Garrett Temple has made leaps and bounds because of the development of Darko, even at his age and this late in his career. So don't give me the shit, Stunning Grow. You're going to say RJ Barrett hit his ceiling. His coach is Rajakovic, and it's his birthday. And he's one of the greatest development coaches in the history of the NBA. So, yeah, you going to tell me RJ Barrett's hit his ceiling when Chris Boucher had his career year with Darko? And I described what I said earlier about Chris. You going to tell me that RJ's hit his ceiling when Jakob Poeltl played for Greg Popovich for 5 years and fucking had his best career year with the Raptors last year and his whole entire seasons? You going to tell me RJ Barrett's hit his ceiling when he's only 26 years old? You're crazy, man, is what I'm telling Stunning Growth on that one, man. That's right. That is right. Chris comes saying 20 points plus per game, plus tonight. RJ's a keeper. Big game coming tonight. Yeah, he's going to hold his own. In some ways, it's no ego, man. That's the kind of player you want. He's as loyal as ever, anybody will ever be for Toronto, and he doesn't care what he gets. It's not about his ego. He doesn't care about this stuff. He wants an all-star someday, and I hope he does get it. He deserves it, honestly. But it's not the end-all, be-all, and it's not affecting his ego. I'm telling you right now, he's a real, true player, man. Real team player. Markelle Fultz, bust. Yeah, we can list the Sixers. Yeah, let's get in on this, Knicks Nation. Knicks and Raptors Nation, team up. Let's go over the failures of the Sixers. I'm with you on this, Milbester. We can go over all the draft picks that the Sixers have done in the Embiid era. Yeah, we could go over this shit. Yeah. Jordan saying, if I was RJ, I'd use it as a chip on my shoulder. He does. Oh, for sure he does. That's absolutely true, Jordan. He totally does. He does. Milbester's saying all number 1 overall picks too. I know it's crazy. Yeah, let's get that Larry O'Brien back up in Canada, and let's do it with RJ on the team. That's what I'm saying right there, man. Yeah, sneaky Raptor fans. Yeah, I don't call the people, like, that's the thing about social media and online. You don't know who's actually there. You know, you could be talking to a girl. You think it's a girl. It's some gross middle-aged man in Sacramento. Like, you know, you don't know who the fuck it is, typing in the messages and stuff. So on Raptors Reddit, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, there's all these comments. And, you know, you don't, not only do you have like catfishing and people misrepresenting who they are, just coming in and writing comments anywhere, you have bots too. There's literally bots that come out and they, because of keywords, they just jump in and they just add some sort of opinion. Somebody can pay a bot farm to go and scour the internet, and every time a certain word appears, they will just add automatic comments. And this has been the playbook by the right wingers for politics. If there's a certain word, they'll come in and they'll just inundate it, and they'll make it seem like there's popular sentiment about something, but it's all not real people. It's just a bunch of fucking bot comments, and they're trying to manufacture that they think this is popular sentiment. And that's what I'm saying. We got to understand this is utilized in the sports world as much as the political world. That on Raptors Reddit, half of those comments and the weird nephew-ass comments and shit, you don't know where they're coming from. That's what I'm saying, man. That's just the aspect of social media. You call them sneaky Raptor fans, sneaky just people. You know, we have Raptors fans probably going on Celtics sites and fucking all kinds of crazy, chaotic ways too. You know, every team's got this phenomenon going on. It's not special to us. Everybody's dealing with this social media toxicness and fake ass weird bot accounts just putting negativity out there in different ways. In some ways, it's to get a rise out of people and to encourage engagement, because they feel if people feel things about things on social media, they'll click more and they'll be more involved in the site. That's the whole ruse of Facebook right now. They're trying to piss you off on purpose, because then you'll click more. Yeah, you still love Kawhi, even though I love Kawhi too, to an extent. I don't get mad at him as I do like Vince or Chris Bosh. In some ways, he was pretty upfront about how it was going to be right from the start. That's just, I feel like he's a dumbass. Like, he had an opportunity to go for another championship and he didn't take it. And his assessment that he thought the team wasn't good enough to repeat, he's an idiot. He's absolutely an idiot. You know, I can love Kawhi and thank him for his contributions to what we did in 2019. And also think he's a dumbass. Isaac's saying, I don't fully agree with the fact that Stephen A. Smith is saying the win now Knicks are just losers. I think actually they are both campaigning to lose in 2026. Yeah, I was surprised that Stephen A. Smith said that he doesn't think the Knicks can win the championship. But I understand his reasoning because I see it too. You know, there are limitations in their two best players. And they did show up last year, and that was part of the reason why they didn't get past the Pacers. It's Brunson and Cat. There are limitations with those guys. And Mike Brown's got to be creative with how to hide the limitations, because those guys do have limitations, and they are exploited. And that is how the Knicks can lose. And that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. This league's becoming pinpoint the weakness and let's exploit it kind of lead. And Jalen Brunson has fundamental problems with his game that can be exploited. And Cat does too. And that's a problem. Those are their two best players. And in some ways, they need them out on the court. But also at the same time, they are a liability on the court to an extent. That's the interesting thing right there. Yeah. Smooth saying, USA-Canada hockey game was the best I ever seen. Wow. Congrats to U.S. for winning gold. There you go. Reggie's being a good loser and wishing well to the team that won. I did not watch it. I did not get up and do anything with this hockey game. I wish Canada won. Alas, I guess I'll get with Reggie here and say, congratulations, USA. I'll say congratulations to the athletes that played, the people there. I'm not going to say it to the country. I'll just say congratulations to the athletes who just won this hockey game today in overtime. Yeah, I'll say that. Yeah, Jordan's saying cheers. I like that. Milbester's saying that Greg Oden's story was very sad. It is. It totally is. Mr. Quasimodo is coming in to say happy birthday to Darko. Guys, check out the Share the Love Club for Darko yesterday. We did a special birthday party for him and talked about why we love Darko and why we're so happy and proud to have him as our Raptors coach. So check that out. The episode yesterday was awesome. Milbester's saying if he played today with same draft class as Durant, but his knees suck. Yeah, it's the injury thing, man. That's what I'm saying. You know, everybody can think this and this would be ideal, but so many different things got to go and happen and line up for you to be completely successful in the NBA. Whether it's to win a single championship, that's a huge accomplishment. To make it into the league is a huge accomplishment. Even if you just play one game, you did something, man. Seriously. And people have to understand what success actually is. Seriously. Jordan's giving a thumbs up to Reggie. And Mobester's saying Greg Oden and Sam Bowie are the biggest what ifs in NBA history. They're not the biggest. You know, I would say maybe Len Bias is one of the biggest what ifs ever in the NBA's history. Len Bias is probably one of the biggest. But yeah, you know, Sam Bowie did get to play. He did get to play some stuff. But yeah, if he hadn't gotten hurt, what would that Kentucky center be like if he had actually not gotten hurt? Greg Oden's career was really shortened because of his injuries. And that is a what if for sure. That is a what if for sure. Let's see. Jordan's saying the Raptors are really fun right now. Laugh out loud. I understand the Leonard disappointment. Yeah, the Raptors are really fun. I'm looking forward to the game today at 3:30. I feel like over the All-Star break, having not regular Raptors games was annoying. It was too long. And in some ways, I really do enjoy when the season's going on. It's the thing that gets me through the winter. Is like I can't wait for Raptors games to come up. And 3:30 is coming, and I can't wait because I want to see the Raptors beat the Bucks today. I really do. Yeah, Cool Cat's here. Good morning, Raptor Freak crew. Hope all is well with Scotty personally. Yes, me too. We only want blessings and good stuff for Scott. And whatever you're dealing with, hopefully it's a happy thing and not a negative thing, like a birth of a child or something like that. We don't know. We can only speculate. Hopefully it's a good thing. We don't want him to be away because a family member is not doing well or something like that. Or we don't want him to be away because of some sort of like negative situation. So, yeah, we're wishing the best for Scott. In some ways, we could look at the bright side of this and say he's not injured. He's just away from the team for personal reasons. So, we'll see. In some ways, it's kind of a good game for him to miss because then we get more opportunity for other people to step up in his absence. And, you know, the starting lineup will be interesting to see how they handle that today. So, we'll have to see. Is Jakob just going to start because Scotty's out and Colin will be there? Yeah, that'll be interesting. Jordan's saying, I love Brunson. He's a dog. You know, I don't like him myself. I feel like he's annoying. I mean, in some ways, I don't like him partly because he's been like so good in the last few years, and he's a Nick. But yeah, some reason the Brunsons rub me wrong. I hate his dad. I think Rick Brunson's absolute douchebag, and you know, I feel like Jalen in some ways is like this poor kid, like Michael Jackson. I feel like that's what he is. Because I've heard the stories about what Rick Brunson put Jalen Brunson through as a kid to make him who he is. And, you know, even the comment that Jalen made after they won that shooting competition at All-Star, he said, this guy's here, I'm not having any fun. Is that a cry for help, Jalen Brunson? That you're kind of in a weird situation where your dad is like your keeper? And he's been a taskmaster your whole and fucking entire life. And you don't know any other way, but he's gotten you to this level. And in some ways you could say, yeah, he's successful. I made him who he is. I get that vibe from Rick Brunson, that he's an overbearing parent like Joe Jackson was towards Michael Jackson. And he may have even been abusive towards Jalen Brunson at some point. So I would say, Jalen Brunson, is Rick Brunson your torturer? Blink 3 times. You don't have to say it. Just blink. Are you in trouble? You know, I feel like that energy from him in some ways. You know what I'm saying? You know, because I heard stuff like he made Jalen when he was a kid carry hot coffee and do some stuff, and he would get burned by the coffee if he failed. You know, he had really weird training techniques for him when he was a kid. And once again, I'll say this: people like Gary Trent Jr. and Jalen Brunson, who are children of NBA players, you know, they don't get raised the same way, especially if the father has the ego that, like, you're going to be in the NBA. And they can be very overbearing parents that you know, you got to wonder how much Jalen Brunson, he obviously really wanted his dream and he did it, just like Gary Trent Jr. But I've also thought that, like, these guys didn't necessarily have real childhoods because their parents were such drill sergeants with them. Like the Gary Trent Jr., I know from seeing the dynamic when he was on the Raptors, and knowing Senior from playing for the Raptors before, you know, he made a lot of sacrifices when he was young as a kid just like Michael Jackson, to be who he is, right? And that's what Trent Sr. said. He said, I told Gary when he was real young, if you really want to be an NBA player, I'll show you how to do it, but you better fucking listen to me and do everything I say. And, you know, I get that energy from Rick. And even with Rick around him still as an assistant coach on his team, I feel like the proximity and everything is like there's something not totally right there. Do you understand what I'm saying? Maybe this is a weird thing to kind of describe right now. But I feel like there's truth to what I'm saying right now. That Rick Brunson, he's not a nice dude. I'm telling you right now, he's a very serious competitor. He gives a shit a lot. I mean, it's kind of funny that he wasn't talented enough to be a very good player in the NBA, but he has such a crazy drive and he's a maniacal competitor. Like he is like that. Seriously, you get those vibes from Rick Brunson. You do. Oh, yeah. Milvester saying Lex, Cat leads the league in offensive fouls, and he had a couple last night, but Brunson leads the league in drawing charges for offensive fouls. That's interesting. I mean, that's fine, but that's not the things I'm talking about. I'm talking about liabilities, and you don't have to look at them. You can go ahead and be like, no, I don't want to see liabilities about the top two players on my team, Milvester. You go ahead and do that, but everybody else in the league knows them. Rick Carlisle knows them. That's for damn sure. Rick Carlisle knows them. So you go ahead. You don't have to look at them. You can talk about the good stuff. That's fine. You don't have to see it. Your defense got better. Yeah, when OG showed up, it did. That's for damn sure. OG showed up. Y'all's defense came up. Yeah. And you guys, I'm going to still say it. The best version of the Knicks had Hartenstein and OG together. That was the best version of the Knicks. But I know you told me you couldn't keep iHeart. You didn't prioritize him. That was the best version, man. I'm telling you, you guys might have won the championship last year if Isaiah Hartenstein had been stuck to. Seriously, man. But we'll never know. We'll never know. That's right. Jordan's saying, I still can't believe we won in 2019. It was a wonderful dream come true. Leo Routens was almost in tears. Man, I was in tears. I was excited. I was happy. You know, being from the start of the climb in 94 all the way till then, the payoff was nice. Especially when so many people never thought that would be a possible thing, that the Raptors could ever win an NBA championship. They still think that there's no way we could double back and get it again. Well, Masai Ujiri's seen the vision, and even though he's not with us still, I believe what Masai said too, that this city will win again. It's just too good. Bobby Webster, yeah, we're going to get there. Scotty Barnes, we're going to get there. That's right. We're going to get there. Milvester's saying Brunson and Durant were laughing at each other last night. Rick Brunson was saying something to Durant during the game last night. Interesting. Yeah, he's, you know, I've heard some things about Rick Brunson and whether he's actually a good person to be on the Knicks coaching staff. Some people on the team were saying they need to get him off the coaching staff, that he doesn't need to be there, that he's a bad influence, that he's toxic. There has been some murmurs about that. I've heard that. Jordan's saying, my goodness, I didn't know about Brunson's dad. Yeah, check him out when you watch him. Check him out. And how would you like to be working at your workplace and your dad is actually one of the coaches where you work and he's absolutely on your back all the time? That's Jalen Brunson's life, man. It's been that way his whole life, man. And that's why he makes these little comments sometimes. Like he makes shots at his dad all the time. Like he's an asshole. He says stuff like that all the time. I've heard him say that. Yeah, this guy's the asshole over here. And he's pointing to his dad, Rick. You know, Milvester's saying iHeart been hurt all season for Thunder, and they've been at first in the West all season. Yeah, that's amazing. They faltered a little bit recently. I mean, like I said, they just lost the Bucks before the All-Star break. They faltered a little bit recently, but they've been missing different guys at different times. I mean, SGA's out right now. J-Dub's been out a lot of the season too. So, yeah, and SGA's not going to be coming to Toronto this week, guys. If people are buying tickets to go see the Thunder this week to see SGA, you're not going to see him. He's not going to be in the game against us. That's early scout for the Thunder game this week. That Shea is not going to be playing in Toronto this week, guys. So anybody who's traveling to come to Toronto to see Gilgeous-Alexander, the MVP, and the Thunder, he's not going to be playing. And don't get disappointed by it. Once again, don't be buying tickets just to see a singular player. Buy the ticket to see the team and the matchup. Because you're not guaranteed these players are going to play, man. I'm telling you. Fiercey's giving me my cutoff. Thank you, Fiercey. And Jordan's saying, I love Masai too. So grateful the Raptors have great management. It's not like that around the league, for sure. And Masai, we trust. Masai forever. We love you. The legacy of Masai Ujiri and the culture he built for the Toronto Raptors with We the North and all the stuff that he did will never be forgotten. He is our Red Auerbach. And he is just such an important, essential part of making the Raptors a respectable, well-run franchise that is a perennial contender. And I appreciate Ujiri for that. I appreciate him so much. Never forget Masai. Trust in Bobby after him. And Bobby will carry on the work and the legacy of Ujiri because he worked with him for 12 years and he understands what Masai would do. You know, what would Masai do is probably what Bobby wonders sometimes. You know what? He calls him and he does talk to him still. I know that for a fact. Those guys are close. And it's not like Bobby can't call up Ujiri and just say, hey, Masai, how you been? And stuff like that. Oh, Bobby, how have you been? How are the kids? You know, this shit is happening. You know it is, guys. You know it is. All right, let me keep going with my tabs real quick. Let's see if there's any breaking news about anything for the game tonight. Let's see. Michael Grange, according to him, after the loss of Canada to USA, he wants to put a fork in his eye. That's Michael Grange's tweet after the Canada loss earlier this morning is, I want to put a fork in my eye. Kurthika, queen of stats of TSN, is saying this, Canada basketball will avenge Hockey Canada in 2028. Yeah, I believe that too. Doug Smith is saying this, sports, man, the hardest thing you'll ever do, exhilarating, heartbreaking. That's definitely a newspaper reporter, definitely a guy who writes this kind of stuff. Yeah, okay. And Blake Murphy's happy because the bars are serving at 8 a.m. What an alcoholic. He's like, oh, I'm so happy. I'm at the bar watching a hockey game, and I'm drinking my face off at 8 a.m. on a Sunday morning. Get help is what I say. I worry about Jack Armstrong, and I think that the health scare is he has to cut out the alcohol. That's what him and Matt were talking about for his New Year's resolution this year. And Blake Murphy, I worry about you sometimes. Enjoy yourself responsibly, but getting drunk at 8 a.m. shouldn't make you giddy. That's a red flag right there. All right, there's the check-in with the breaking news real quick right there. Let's see. We did the birthdays. It's Darko and Trace. We did that. Let's see. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do the classic card. Let's see. Milbester saying, did Quickly do good versus the Bucks? We haven't played this game yet. Milbester, the game's today. The game is actually at 3:30 today. We have not played Milwaukee yet. We played the Bulls on Thursday. We've been off 2 days. And we beat the Bulls. And Quickly was great. Quickly is fine. He shot over 50%. And he had really good assists and hardly no turnovers. That's the thing about Quickly that you guys don't understand is he's transitioning to being a real true point guard right now. He's not trying to be the scoring shooting guard off the bench that y'all had in New York anymore. He has that mode, but he's reining himself in. He's not being aggressive to get his own shot, and he's doing more work to set up his teammates and play within the system. And the other thing that he's doing is he's really putting a lot more effort on defense. He's really playing up close on people on defense. He's got guys like Walter and Shed around him, and they are encouraging him to be more on defense. So, yeah, he's growing as a player into that direction. Into that direction is what I'm saying. Yeah. Milbester saying, I'm still surprised how the Celtics are in second all season without Tatum. They've not been in second all season. But I am surprised they've done this well without Tatum. Yes. In some ways, I'm annoyed by it because I respect what they're doing. I was really waiting, like after the last offseason with Tatum news, I was like, okay, they're going to take a year off and they're going to tank like the Sixers did last year and try and get a high draft pick to get something like VJ Edgecombe. But they didn't do that. They didn't do the loser thing. And in some ways, I have immense respect for Brad Stevens, Joe Mazzulla, and the Celtics organization for not taking a down year this year just to get a high draft pick this year. That's really, honestly, badass. Honestly, I don't like talking up the Celtics, but I will respect this and say this is awesome, man. Good job. Because I did not expect this. I really did expect them to be out of the playoffs, not even in the play-in. And now they're like one of the top Eastern teams. That's impressive. And they made a deal at the trade deadline to get Vucevic, which means they actually have a chance to compete for a championship this year. I wouldn't have said that before Vucevic, but now that they did the Vucevic deal, they actually have a chance to win this year, especially if all of a sudden, right before the end of the season, Tatum shows up, guys. And he's rehabbing with the main Celtics right now. So he is actually kind of close to coming back. So, yeah, the Celtics are a true legitimate championship contender this year, and I did not think that would happen. with the way the season was starting with Tatum and what was happening. That's right. Yeah, it is incredible. It is. Quickly's nice. Quickly was decent defense with us, but I'm glad to see his defense get better. Yeah, the thing about him is he's really sticking to guys like a shadow. He's right up on people. He's not giving them any room. And we're really playing a close, tight defense up on people right now. Especially against the Bulls the other day, we did this. Yeah, Milbester's saying it was just like the 94 Bulls team when Jordan retired. Everyone thought they wasn't going to dominate the East, and they still were a top 3 team with Pippen. Celtics are a well-ran organization as always. Yeah, I hate to say that shit. No, I don't think this is a similar situation in any kind of way. When Michael Jordan retired, the Bulls were a completely different team. They weren't that good. I'm not going to lie. You think that they were that good. They weren't. You're not remembering this correctly. When Tony Kukoc and Scottie Pippen were the leaders of the Bulls, they struggled. They were a playoff team still. We were damn for sure not like the Bulls with Jordan at the top of the East and being the best team and all this stuff and winning championships. No. When Jordan was out for that time and he was doing baseball and all that other stuff, no, this is not true. The Bulls did not skip a beat when Jordan left. They still won, but they were a couple tiers lower than what they were with him, for damn sure. No, they were not that good. You're not remembering this right. They were not that good. All right, here's the classic card of the day, and I'm going to destroy it. I'm going to destroy it after we're done with it. All right, so here we go. You can see it. Can you see it from there? That may be enough. If y'all know that I'm going to destroy it, you probably know what it is. I don't like that I pulled this card today, but whatever. You guys can see. Yeah, it's like DZ knows. Yeah, this is an ugly-ass card. Look at this. They don't even put him in our jersey. I'm going to put it as a Raptors card. Who the fuck? Why did they make this? Seriously. All right, here we go. You have higher aspirations? Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Have your higher aspirations. I might be, by default, making these cards more valuable by destroying them, I guess. I don't know. I don't care. It's a Goran Dragic card. There you go. That's it. Dragic still playing with the Heat? No, Dragic retired. Dragic put on some crazy-ass retirement game in Slovenia, and he had Chris Bosh come there. He was saying that Steve Nash was going to play. All these different people going to play in his honor. He had to have a big farewell game. Like, who the fuck are you, bro? Like, who the fuck are you, Goran Dragic, that you need all this shit? Maybe in Europe, I guess you're a legend and all this stuff, but really, for your NBA career, did you win a championship? No, you didn't. You loser. Man, yeah, I never understood that. Yeah, they had this big old retirement game for him, like in the summer at one point. Yeah, fuck you, Goran Dragic, and your bullshit. There you go. All right, there we go. All right, let me do the rundown, and we'll get out of here. We had the Raptors 905 playing last night. My 7 stars of the game and the 3-point victory over the Windy City Bulls. Elijah Martin, number 1 star. Olivier Sarr, number 2. AJ Lawson, number 3. Tyreek Key, number 4. Tyson Degenhart, number 5. AJ Hogarth, number 6. And Jarkel Joyner, number 7. 7 stars for a supersized game. 7 stars. All right, tonight, the injuries for the Raptors and the Bucks. Chucky Hepburn is out. Scotty Barnes is out. Personal reasons. And the starters, I'll speculate, will be Manuel, Brandon, RJ, Colin Murray-Boyles, and Jakob Poeltl starting for today against the Bucks. On the other side, the Bucks are missing Giannis Antetokounmpo, a very big, important player for their team. He is out today for sure. And Miles Turner is questionable and likely to not play. Taurean Prince is also out and has been out for a while. The speculative starting lineup for the Bucks today: Ryan Rollins, Kevin Porter Jr., AJ Green, Bobby Portis Jr., and Jericho Sims. Jericho Sims, Milbester, on Milwaukee. The referees for the game today, I don't trust them at all. As I said earlier, Milwaukee's won 6 of their last 7 games, so they are kind of winning right now, and these refs are suspicious. The crew chief is Josh Tiven. Every single game last year we had Josh Tiven, we lost. This year we're 2-1 with him, but I don't trust him. He does favor the Raptors statistically. The second ref is Jason Goebel, the former cop from Miami, Florida. He has his best winning percentage out of all 30 teams with the Bucks. So he heavily favors the Bucks. The second ref, Jason Goebel. And the third ref is Jenna Schroeder. She is a longtime Raptors hater. who has not done good for us. But this year we've been okay with her. We're actually won 4-1 with her this year. We've won 4 games with her this year and lost the last one. She does statistically favor the Bucks, though. So the ref crew is shady. The ref crew could go 8-5 against the Raptors today. So even if the Bucks are missing Giannis, we have to take care of this game like it's a serious game. They've been winning. The refs are not necessarily on our side. It's a home game for them. And the Raptors don't take the Bucks lightly because of their record. And fans don't just pencil this in as an easy win. This is not. I do this every day. I cover these games. I look at them in a very objective way. And the lay of the land for this game is a trap game. So if Raptors fans, if we see the Raptors lose to the Bucks today, don't fall out. I'm telling you why it could possibly happen today, okay? If we play right, we play to our talent, and we play to our skill level, we're bigger than them. We should win. But that means not taking them lightly and coming out and being professionals. And I know Brandon Ingram, RJ Barrett will set that tone. So that's what I'm saying. That's the keys to the victory right there. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching me today on the Raptor Freak stream. That's right. That's right. Isaac's got Darko on blast on his birthday. Shout out to the 905. That's right. Keep going, Andrew Jones. We'll be seeing them playing against Atlanta's College Park Skyhawks in the next game. I think it's on Wednesday, the next time 905 plays. But we'll be watching and covering that for sure. And Milbester's saying, Lex, pray for us. We'll get through the blizzard in New York City. Last major snowstorm of winter before daylight savings in spring. You hope that is. I never say shit like that. This is the last snow of the season. No, I'll learn not to do that up here in Canada. Yeah, I hope that you guys are okay. At least you have a humanitarian mayor who's doing good things for you guys, like getting childcare and different things for the people and working for the people. So salute to the mayor of New York, Mandini. And, well, hopefully he can do the things to take care of your city and make sure that you guys are all right with the barrage of snow coming at you, man. Seriously, I'm going to say that. Yeah, you want me to pray? I'll pray. All right, I'm going to pray for the whole world. Dear God, please protect the Toronto Raptors and the Milwaukee Bucks on the court today in the basketball game. Nobody needs to get hurt. Nobody needs to get hurt in any of the NBA games today. Nobody needs to get hurt in any of the athletic games played around the world, whether it's the Olympics or wherever it is. Nobody needs to get hurt just in general as a citizen of the world and the earth. Subjugation from intimidation, fascism, all kinds of other crazy bullshit that's going on right now, genocide. Please protect all living things on this earth, whether human or plant or animal, from subjugation, ecocide, genocide. You created us, and we are just humble servants for you. And I have no ego in this. This is all the glory to God, and I want to humbly serve you as a creature or as a person that you have created, and as a person that will protect what you've created. So thank you. I have gratitude for all the things in my life. Please protect the people of New York City from the blizzard. Amen. How about that? Sunday morning prayer, real quick. That's the way I do my prayer before the game every day, is I say that. And I don't pray for the Raptors to win, if you notice. I just pray for health and safety and people to stay safe and not get hurt. And I mean that for everybody, whether it's the immigrant child in Minnesota that's being terrorized by ICE agents right now. I want God to protect everybody right now. And in the end, I know God will, and it'll all work out in the way that God intended, because I have faith in him. That's what I've been taught by good friends like Randolph Trevor, is to have faith in God, that God is going to work it all out. But we all know in our hearts, just like Bruno Fernando said, what you have in your heart is the man that you are. And if you want to have hate for other men and subjugation and using them for your own profit, then that's who you are in your heart. Just be true to it. And you're full of shit and you're a piece of garbage. So be the right person and be who you are in your heart. That's right, man. That's right. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Yeah. Let's see. Jordan's saying, hope everyone's good dealing with the snow. Been a fierce winter. Yeah, it's been very cold. The snow amount's been high, but I felt like last year was tougher. And maybe the ice storm is part of it. The ice storm was fucked up, man. And I don't want anything like that coming up anytime soon. And I know that it could happen still before the end of it, but the ice storm was not a very common occurrence. But yeah, that ice storm last year was damaging around Ontario for sure. I know you probably remember it, Jordan. That's right. Shout out to you, bud, for covering all the games. Your channel will continue to do very well. I appreciate that, man. 4 years going. It'll be 5 years in September, and I have not missed a day. And I do this all summer, Jordan. So if you get that Raptors fix in the middle of the summer, this is your place. We're keeping up to date on everything Raptors every single day. If you want to be one of the most informed Raptors fans in your vicinity of the people you talk to, you watch this channel every day, you'll know what you're talking about. And we are going to cover the Toronto Tempo just like we do the Raptors when they start up in the WNBA. So, yeah, we're going to be covering basketball, Canada basketball with the Olympic team and ASGA and Dylan Brooks. We'll be covering Canadian Elite Basketball League, which I go to games, Scarborough Shooting Stars. And, of course, we're going to cover the 905 in depth. Yeah, like we do. That's right, man. I appreciate that, man. You like my prayer? That's a prayer I do every game day. And I'm hoping that it'll help protect everybody. Because, look, everything I would want for myself, I would want for you, that I would want for everyone. And that's the right to have a decent life, the right to have dignity, the right to have freedom, the right to be able to live a happy life and not subjugate other people. You should be doing things for other people too. And if you only want that for yourself and you're selfish, well, that's who Bob Marley was talking about. It was those who hurt all mankind just to help them own. That's fucked up. And in some ways, there's too many people doing that at the top right now. And they're going to hurt a lot of people just for the benefit of few. Fuck all that shit. Let's throw this table upside down and let's wreck this shit. Is what I'm saying right there. That's right. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching me today, right at 3 hours. I appreciate everybody. I'll see y'all tomorrow with the reaction to today's Milwaukee Bucks Raptors game. Let's go, Raptors. Don't mess around. This is a trap game. Y'all need to take this seriously. Come out with a good effort like you did defensively against the Bulls on Thursday and get them right away. They're not a better team than y'all, but they could manufacture a W in a weird-ass way if y'all aren't careful. So don't play with your food. Eat your food for lunch and win this game today. That's what I'm saying. Enjoy the game. That's right. Let's go, Raptors.